Yeah. All praise to the great spirit. Let's go. It's the CG gang. You know how we work. Shout out to my sister Tabitha is in the building. Keon Cooper. Yeah. Big things this. Love and light to you, sis. What's the word? Hit that share button, like button. All that good stuff. Let them know we pitching till they strike out. You know what I mean? Good to see everybody piling in. That's what we do. Gotta hit the like button, subscribe button, share button. All that good stuff in between. Got my bro in the building, the Cali Cadet. Yeah. Love and light to y'all. You already know. In the building. CGG still cooking. Hey, Dre, tell them boys we pitching till they strike out. You know what I mean? No time for the funnies. Hey, Dre, share this in our groups. Out of Facebook messenger groups. I ain't get a chance to. It's the CG gang. You know how we word. Chief and this key in the building. It's the CG gang. You know how we work. That's right, we play ball. My brothers and sisters play ball. Press the line. Tikva, my beloved sister. What is the word, sis? Love, light, and all that good stuff in between. Yeah. CGG still cooking. It's the CG gang. You know how we word. Y'all share this across social media, all your platforms. Let me go ahead and share a little taste myself. We gonna get to cooking shortly. Y'all know how we do. It's the CG gang. You know how we work. Yeah. You know how we work. It's the CG gang. Y'all see the title. Book of Judgment Part 6. Resurrection and the dwelling of spirits after death. Oh my God. Y'all keep dropping all this highlight, brother. Somebody mad. You know how we work. Somebody mad. That be all right, though. Y'all hit that like button, share button, all that good stuff, man. That gang in this thing. Yeah. Pitching to you boys, strike out. What you talking about? Gang. We be having fun, too, you know, man. I can't front. I be having fun doing this. I get a rush. I get a rush off of Swift kicking the deity in the ring, giving your deity a wedgie. I get a kick out of it. I ain't gonna lie to you. And then just to watch the devotees powerless, foaming at the mouth, huddling up, scrambling. You know what I mean? Prayer is truly marvelous, man. And one thing I won't do is complain. We ain't complaining about nothing. Just results. Play ball, baby. You know how we work. Go ahead and send this out. Yeah, that's right. And what you say, Greg? My brother. CGG is live, baby. Get that round one more time. We're gonna go ahead and get it cracking. I gotta share this out with a few folks. We got them in the Facebook Messenger groups already, so we good there. All right. Yeah, I need to share this over this way. It's the CG gang. You know how we work. Them boys always cooking something. Stay in the kitchen. What's wrong with this brother, Max? Jay. CG gang. You know how we work. Look for my Let's put an oracle real quick. Gotta get the oracle in her. It's the CG gang. Creator Gang is live. Creator Gang is live. You know how we work. Keela starting stuff. She say tap in and learn something, cuz. Oh, man. Keela starting something. I got little sisters that pick fights. I got sisters that pick fights, brothers. Beware. You call yourself sniffing up behind one of my sisters, she gonna be lining you up. Now this nigga like me and shit. He over here sucking at the paps, sucking at the teats of a false god. I'm about to line him up. Look up, you be over here in the clutch of us. We be over here just ping ponging your god all over the place. And it's because you like one of the sisters. Sisters gonna line one of you niggas up and shit. If you ain't, look, if your ideal about who you calling God don't line up with Creator, you call yourself like one of my sisters, they gonna line your ass up. They gonna line you right on up. Hey, bruh, like, dang, what's up, sis? Hey, man, this one cat, wop. Yeah, so I'm about to go ahead and, I'm about to patch him on in real quick. You know what I mean? I'm about to link him on in. You mind? Shit, put him on the phone. Line him right up. There you go over here, just tripping up how beautiful the sister is. Sisters in the gang line niggas up all the time. And when I say that, I'm saying that if you like one of them, but your ideal of who the creator is ain't lining up, they gonna set up a convo between you and one of us. And that's gonna go one of two ways. Either you're gonna be like, dang, bro, I never knew this. Or you and your deity gonna get swift kicked up the jibs and sent on your way. they line niggas up all the time. That's what I'm saying. Like, here you go thinking you the max something. Dang. It's real out here. I'm trying to tell you, boy, it's more than a zoo, it's a jungle, baby. Keela lining niggas up. That's crazy. Elijah 7, my brother, love and light. What's the word? Tick for creators unstoppable. That's right. My brother, Bishop X, FG, Keezy, all Daisy, baby. Love and light to the eye, man. We got Prince Cosmon in the building. My brother, you already know. Stand tall, Prince. Yeah. Hey, what you say, Trey? Don't get caught with your draw. Ooh, I'm telling you, boy, the sisters line you right on up. You look up and you be caught and you be stuck in a vortex with one of us. Dang. Real spill this. Real ting. Dang, son. You know how we work? Dang. But it's really the problem around here, Dread. Praise Creator to make us sons, moans, and stars. The Almighty, always was, is, and never shall be. Oh, mighty and great spirit, the mighty and great I am. All praises to the Creator, the God maker. There ain't nothing higher you saying off your lips. You prayer, brother. The Creator, God maker, forever present. So, man, it is truly an honor to be on the team with brothers and sisters, you know what I mean? And, deity hunting. It's all good over this way. Yeah, we're going to press the line about something. Maybe it challenge you to think. challenge whatever it is you claim that you believe. That's it. And it just look about this. Everything must stand on its own merit in this way. You know what Granny and them used to say back in the day? Every tub got to sit on its own bottom head. Yeah. God, you need to defend it. If it's absolute truth, hey, it's going to defend itself. Oh, did I say something wrong? You all these damn apologists out here now. I'm an apologetic. I had to look that up. What the hell is an apologist? This nigga's apologizing? I don't get it. An apologetic is someone who knows the Bible is conflicted, that it contradicts itself, but somehow, some way, they have so much belief that they make apples into oranges. So they spend a career of making the Bible say opposite or mean opposite of what it says. Even though it's saying something, an apologetic calls himself a defender of the faith. So even though it says something opposite of what his faith is, he'll make it mean, you know what I mean, rigorous definitions and precepts, and trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. He gonna make the passage mean opposite of what it's saying, opposite of what you read. You dig? And only a false God I had you in a conundrum like this, chasing your damn tail, spinning your tires in the mud. Only a false God I had you doing that. How you spinning your damn tires in the mud? You know good and well that right there say that. You know it say it. Oh, but brother, they really don't mean that, because if you, look, we're not gonna play that, because then if that's the case, then we are victims of the translators anyway. The hell is we arguing about? Yeah, we all victims of the scribes anyway. What the hell are we arguing about? Huh? You got all these damn apologists out here call themselves defending the faith. And now you got what's birthed as Hebrew apology. Right? and boy, you got Deacon and them, they know that the Bible is contradicted, that it got things that's against itself. Man, these niggas that came up with Hebrew apologetics in response to the Christian apologetics. You dig? They all using the same lexicon, same sources and all that, same Bible, and come up with different answers every time. You can't make this type stuff up, man. The hell? We talking about the Almighty. We talking about the Creator, the God Maker, the omnipotent, all-powerful Creator. Don't need you to defend nothing. All you apologists, that's what you are. You're defenders of your God, because the text that's written about the God say so many different things that are polar opposites. You trying to make everybody, you trying to make everybody, convince everybody that it says that, but it means that. You see what I'm saying? And that's because you know that what you read is in conflict with itself. So instead of saying, yeah, that don't add up, that don't even make sense, you'll say, well, hold on. And you'll try to make it mean opposite of what it says. So now we can't even trust our own eyes. See? Man, you gotta be careful out here, man. Be careful. You feel me? I'm loving like everybody in the chat. Shout out to the haters, jaw jackers and naysayers. Yeah. We love y'all too. CGG is in the building, ready, gang. Still cooking. And tell all them boys we pitching till they strike out. Never done. You know what I mean? So let me go ahead and play this real quick. You know, we like to come out with the appetizer before we come out with the full course meal. I think y'all know what I'm saying. The recipient of the Crack Pipe Logic Award today is Asar Mka, Mr. Plastic God himself. Huh?
As the biosphere thinks humans into existence. As the biosphere thinks humans into existence.
As the biosphere thinks humans into existence.
So we recognize the earth.
And see, again, this is what we're dealing with. This is the crack pipe logic that we're dealing with in what you call the conscious community. He's on the Commission side, so this Negro fancies himself as an Egyptian. Asar M. Ka is his name. It's his handle, is what he goes by. You understand what I'm saying? And you're not even 2 nanoseconds into the video. And he's talking about a layer of the atmosphere that thinks humans into existence. No different than the mealy mouth Negroes who fancy themselves as Naga, who claim that the creator is visible light, which is a small portion of the entire electromagnetic spectrum. You dig? And if you know anything, a beam of light ain't never created a damn thing. What are you talking about? Whatever light you looking at gotta have a source. That's who we talking about. You don't get 2 nanoseconds into this video before Asar hangs himself. He commits intellectual and scholarly suicide with this. And that's why I be trying to tell folk, man, the conscious community is full of idiots. Anytime he can just say this, he didn't even say it too fast. So he didn't even speedball it. He damn near served it to you on a platter. As the biosphere thinks humans into existence. I'm gonna go ahead and let this go ahead and just, let it play. I just had to go ahead and just express, you dig, my frustration with these cats, man. You like, and with the people who champion them. If you at any time found yourself seal clapping to what rolls off this mealy mouth Negro's tongue, then guess what? You've been compromised too. What the hell are we really talking about around here? What are we talking about? Come on, man. It's time to level your game up, man. People get so spiritual, they get goofy. Word. And just be saying stuff. You be like, that brother, so he's the deepest. Huh? He ain't no deeper than a water puddle.
And have to take care of it. If it was just a floating mass.
What the hell is
as the biosphere thinks humans into existence. As the biosphere thinks humans into existence.
As the biosphere thinks humans into existence.
So we recognize the earth and have to take care of it. If it was just a floating mass, we could throw trash where we wanted and do what we wanted to do.
I don't even get what he was trying to. That made zero sense. If it was just a floating mass, we can throw trash wherever we wanted and to do what we want to do. I don't think you brushed your teeth that morning you woke up, boy. Boy, I think that breath was hollering so much you started to short circuit. Huh? Boy, what the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about?
The biosphere thinks humans into existence. As the biosphere thinks humans into existence.
As the biosphere thinks humans into existence.
So we recognize the earth and have to take care of it. If it was just a floating mass, we could throw trash where we wanted and do what we wanted to do. If it was just a floating mass, we could throw trash where we wanted and do what we wanted to do.
If it was just a floating mass, we could throw trash where we wanted and do what we wanted to do.
It is in the southeastern side behind Punt that this God exists. It is in the southeastern side behind Punt that this God exists.
It is in the southeastern side behind Punt that this God exists.
And Ra rises in the morning and they're explaining the sunrise and how it comes up in the night. The sunrise and how it comes up in the night.
The sunrise and how it comes.
That boy already said. That boy said, man, they got me laughing over here. He said that his God dwells behind Puntland, which is the Indian Ocean. Then he twists his mouth and say that the sun comes up at night. What? I'm saying I can't take none of this serious. I know I can't. Maybe you can. Maybe the crack pipe logic is your cup of tea.
Southeastern side behind Punt that this God exists.
And Ra rises in the morning and they're explaining the sunrise and how it comes up in the night. The sunrise and how it comes up in the night.
The sunrise and how it comes up in the night.
Let's talk about my teacher, award-winning scientist Hitoshi Moriyama. He said, when you take the ball and throw it into the sky, that's the beginning of the Big Bang. When you take the ball and throw it into the sky, that's the beginning of the Big Bang.
When you take the ball and throw it into the sky, that's the beginning of the Big Bang.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another show. And today, guys, I will be throwing a basketball in the sky. That's it.
And you're watching the universe expand until it reaches its zenith. When it reaches its height, then the universe is expanded, and in those areas it cools off, and we can tell because the ball starts to come back down. Because the ball starts to come back down.
Because the ball starts to come back down.
Oh, God.
Friction is the heat is caused by the molecules moving, speeding up. Nothing is being brought out. Is heat being brought out? Yeah. Nothing is being brought out. Is heat being brought out? Yeah.
Nothing is being brought out. Is heat being brought?
That had to be the God. Like, I can't take none of y'all serious. You can't take nobody.
Well, yeah.
So let me tell you where it's located in the book of Cosmogony. 38 forward.
Cosmogony. Lady Eloise. Oh, Lady Eloise. Marcus, darling. Y'all seen some of y'all young enough. Y'all back in the 90s, it was a movie named Boomerang that came out. It was with Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence was in there, David Allen Greer, you know what I mean, Halle Berry, Robin Givens, all that. These cats was like, execs in the marketing world or whatever. And they was marketing this brand called Strange. You dig? But it was supposedly owned by a lady named Lady Eloise. And she just was the face of it. She really didn't own anything or whatever. And dude ain't know. He was trying to get in good with it so he can get a promotion. Eddie Murphy. That old lady nigga popped out talking about she drinking beet juice. It keeps the skin tight. Boy, she straight. Hey, man, I feel sorry for Eddie Murphy on that one. That boy had to commit loin jihad that night. All to find out that woman ain't got no power. And so she talked just like this woman. Marcus, darling. Lady Eloise. Dang, girl.
/1.37 to 42 is where it says the sun does not give off heat in the book of Cosmogony.
Then why is the space between the face of the sun and the face of the earth freezing cold? Objective proof she don't know what she talking about. This is from NASA, Webb Telescope. By the way, Webb Telescope is not going out our galaxy, it is going towards the sun.
Conduction and convection can't happen in empty space due to the lack of matter, and heat transfer occurs slowly by the radiative process alone.
Conduction and convection can't happen in empty space due to lack of matter, and heat transfer occurs slowly by the radiative process alone.
Boy, put them boys in a blender that night. They haven't recovered since. They ain't recovered off that. You don't recover from no ass whooping like that, man. You just don't. Yeah, let's check this out. Story Yahshua the Essene 10-minute video. Shout out to the brother
It's your host, Selah Shalom, and this is the Cosmon Teachings in the Words of Jehovah and His Angel Ambassadors from the Cosmon Bible Owaspi. And the topic of discussion today is called the story of Yahshua. The same way true God, son of Jehovah, raised up Sakaya of India and Confucius of China, likewise did God raise up Yahshua of Northeast Africa. Many people, especially Christians, believe that this is the true image of the Messiah with his disciples at the Last Supper. This image was created 1400 years after the Messiah. This image was painted by Leonardo da Vinci. And this is the image most Catholics and Christians believe to be the Messiah and his disciples, Europeans. But this is the image of the beast, the Antichrist, because 1200 years before this image in the 2nd century AD, you had this image of the Messiah and his disciples, which existed from the 2nd century until the 14th century, when they began to whitewash all the black icons from Rome and Europe during the Renaissance. Some of them survive today to give us proof of these things. So here you have the original and the fake side by side. Yahshua was a Nazarene, and in order to be a Nazarene, you had to take the vow. You had to let your hair grow in locks. And here you can clearly see the locks as a vow to him being a Nazarene. But on the fake image, the Antichrist image, you see his hair straight, no sign of a Nazarene vow. Yahshua was an Essene Nazarene Jew. The Essenes were a sect of Jews that separated from the apostate Jews that followed Baal and other surrounding gods. And the Essenes was under the auspice of Moses when he returned to redeem Pharaoh from the lower heavens around 400 BC, 400 years before the birth of the Messiah. As I explained in the vid called Moses in Heaven Return to Earth, Yahshua was sent to restore the Mosaic law, the peace policy among the Israelites. One of the reasons Moses appeared to Yahshua, being that the Israelites were following the heathen ways, worshiping Baal, Elohim, Ashtaroth, all the tribal gods of Canaan, and setting up kings to rule over the people after the manner of the pagans. Yahshua was sent to show them how to live according to the ancient custom of Israel, and not these pagan customs. In the original Mosaic law, families supposed to live in communities, serving no kings, no leaders, but the Creator only. So when Israel began choosing kings, they were under the inspiration of a false god, more likely Baal. Owaspi even exposes the truth about how this Jesus came about, and it has nothing to do with the Hebrew Yahshua, but I will explain this in vids to come. Now, God's book of Ezra, chapter 42, verse 1 through 17, it states, verse 1, God, Jehovah's son, was wise above all these trials, for he had the light of Jehovah's kingdom with him. Verse 2, and it will be shown presently how much further ahead are the plans laid out by Jehovah's son than by his enemies. Verse 3, because Pharaoh persecuted the Israelites, Moses put a curse upon Pharaoh. Now after hundreds of years in the lower heavens, behold, Pharaoh was cast in hell, and then in chaos, and none but Moses could deliver him, as hath been previously described. And I explained this in the video called Moses in Heaven Return to Earth. Verse 4, so Moses descended from the higher heavens and delivered Pharaoh, and he provided Pharaoh a new name, Elias, and sent him back to earth to labor with the Israelites in order to fulfill his shortness and righteous works. Elias therefore became a willing volunteer, and many angels with him. Now here's the origin of the Essenes, being an Israelite sect that was under the inspiration of Jehovah and not the false god Baal or El. Verse 5, and these angels inspired 700 Israelites to separate themselves from all other people and to go and live by direction of the angels of Jehovah. Moreover, the angels inspired these people to call themselves Essenes, as commanded by Moses in heaven. So here the Essenes started out as a group of 700 Israelites, separating from the Israelites that practiced the ways of the heathen. This time would have been when the Israelites returned from Babylon, around 400 BC under Ezra. Verse 6, these Essenes were therefore a separate people, pledged to Jehovah, to have no king, nor earth ruler, except their rabbis, and they dwelt in communities and families of 10s and 20s and hundreds, holding all things in common. But in marriage they were monogamic, neither would they have more than one suit of clothes each, and they lived on fruits and herbs only, nor ate they fish nor flesh of anything that had ever breatheth the breath of life. And they bathed every morning at sunrise, and worshipped before the altar of Jehovah, doing in all things after the manner of the ancient faiths, by virtue of the angel hosts, who were with them, did they these things, and they held communion with the angels of heaven every night before going to sleep. So this is the religious practice Yahshua came out of. As it stated, they served no kings but Jehovah only, and they ate no fish, no flesh. So they were vegans, they were vegetarians. Likewise with Yahshua. For 400 years before Yahshua's birth, these Essenes ate no dead animals or fish. So Mary and Joseph, the parents of Yahshua, were vegetarian as well. Verse 7. Elias had said, because I persecuted the faithists, the Israelites, and raised up my hands against them and against Jehovah, I was an instrument in part of their fall. Now will I labor with them to reestablish them in purity and love. And he so labored. This is an example of what you reap is what you sow. Verse 8. And Elias and his angel hosts made the camps of the Essenes their dwelling places, watching over these few Israelites day and night for hundreds of years, without leaving them. These faithful angels guarded them from all the warring hosts of angels, belonging to the armies of Baal and Ashtaroth, and to the truant gods, Luamung and his hosts. So here you see how they were guarded from the surrounding false gods. Verse 9. And though the Essenes lived in great purity of body and soul, yet they were evilly slandered by the world's people around about them on every side. Verse 10. But Jehovah prospered the seed of the Essenes in holiness and love for many generations. Verse 11. Then came Gaphania, chief of the Luis, and Luis are angels that are responsible for raising up prophets, according to the commandment of God, to raise up an heir to hear the voice of Jehovah. And 4 generations more, an heir was born, named Yahshua. And he was the child of Joseph and his wife Mary, devoted worshippers of Jehovah, who stood aloft from all other people except the Essenes. So here it states Joseph and Mary was the parent to Yahshua. It states nothing about an immaculate birth. And I will show in coming vids how other stories got twisted in the story of Yahshua during the time of Constantine and the Nancy Creed. Verse 12. And because of the extreme youth of Mary, the child was of doubtful sex, whereupon the rabbi said the child was an Aisu, signifying neutral, just as the mother of Sakiah and Confucius were very young, likewise with Yahshua's mother, Mary. Just as Confucius was an Aisu born, likewise with Yahshua being an Aisu born. An Aisu signifies neutral, having no earthly desires, and in some cases signifying neither gender. It is this term Aisu that Constantine used to formulate Aisos, which is Jesus. But I will explain this in vids to come. Now in Matthew chapter 2, verse 2, where it talks about a star being seen by the wise men and all the people, here's what that star really was. Verse 13. The time of the birth of the child was 3 days after the descent of a heavenly ship from the throne of God. And many of the Essenes looked up and beheld the star, and they felt the cold wind of the higher heavens fall upon the place and round about the tent where the child was born. And they said one to another, Jehovah remember us, or Emmanuel. So here it shows you that the star was a heavenly ship, a chariot from the throne of God to bear witness to the birth of Yahshua. Verse 14. Gaphania, the chief angel of the Luis, knew beforehand what the birth would be, and he sent out around about the Essene encampments extra guardian angels, and these notified the descending hosts of angels of what was near at hand. Verse 15. So the messengers from heaven tarried until the child was born, equating Elias of the time ahead when Moses and Elias with their hosts would come to complete the deliverance of the spirits of the Egyptians whom Moses had colonized in Atmospheria. Verse 16. Elias said, Thank Jehovah, I shall once more look upon Moses' face. Verse 17. And when the birth was complete, the angels of heaven re-entered the starship and hastened back to paradise, God's heavenly seat. So the star of Bethlehem, the star over Jerusalem that the wise men of the east seen, was a chariot from the heavenly throne of God. Now, God's book of Ezra, chapter 43, verse 1 through 15, states, now here's where Moses appeared to Yahshua, verse 1. When Yahshua was grown up and ready for his labor, God provided a host of 100 million angels to make a line of light from his holy counsel down to the earth, and they so made it. Verse 2. Verse 2. And God provided a guardian host of 2,000 million angels to protect the line of communication, for it was war times in heaven and earth. So here is showing you the works of the angels unseen to mortals. Verse 3. Then came Moses from his Etherian realms, accompanied by Elias and a sufficient host, and he came to paradise to God on the throne, where due preparation had been made for them. For the heavenly kingdom of God were stirred from center to circumference when it was hurled abroad that Moses and Elias was coming. Verse 4. And paradise was like a new heavenly city, being acceded by an influx of more than 1,000 million visitors for the occasion. Verse 5. And heralds and receivers and marshals and musicians extended every way. Verse 6. A whole book might be written on the glory of the occasion. When that Etherian ship descended from the higher heavens, Moses was received according to the custom of gods. And God said to Moses and Elias, come ye and honor my throne, and I will proclaim a file before the throne, to be followed by 2 days of recreation. Verse 7. Then Moses and Elias went up and sat on the throne of God, that they might look upon Moses' face. And Moses stood up before them. Moses said, I remember standing on the earth while the host that came out of Egypt passed before me. Great Jehovah, what symbols of things thou givest, and ever with a new thrill of joy to the soul, O thou Almighty. Verse 8. That was all he said, but so great was the love and glory in his face as he stood on the throne of God, that every soul that passed said, Moses, blessed, son of Jehovah. Verse 9. And God granted 2 days recreation, during which time the Etherians mingled with the Atmospherians in great delight. After that, Moses with his hosts went to Elaban, his colony of Egyptians, whom were now raised high in the grades, and Moses had them removed to Aroku, where they were duly prepared and adorned as brides and bridegrooms of Jehovah. And after suitable preparation, Moses provided for their ascent to the Negevian fields of Mesopotamus in Etheria, sending them in charge of his own hosts. Verse 10. After that, Moses and his remaining host descended to the earth, to Canaan, to the tribes of Essenes, which had been raised up by Elias, Pharaoh. And great was the meeting between Elias and Moses. The former broke down with emotion. He said, all praise to thee, O Jehovah, thou hast remembered me at last. Verse 12. Moses came to him and said, I have come for thee, O Nugan. I have a place prepared for thee and thy host in my Etherian kingdoms. Thou hast done well. Now, here is where Moses appeared to Yahshua as described in the King James Bible, Matthew chapter 17, verse 1 through 8, and in verse 5 in the King James Bible, where it states that a cloud covered them on the mountain. But here in Owaspy, it'll show that it was a spacecraft or a chariot. In the Owaspy, it mentions over 20 different names for heavenly spaceships that is mentioned throughout the book, including chariot. That's just one. Verse 12. Then Moses and his hosts drew his Octivane, and Octivane is one of the names of the spacecrafts mentioned in Owaspy, down to the angel camp, which was near the camp of the mortals, the Essenes. And they made the light to fall upon the boat. And it came to pass that many of the Essenes looked up and beheld the Octivane, calling it a chariot. So here the Owaspy clearly tells you that it was a chariot that Moses and Elias was traveling in when they came to see Yahshua and his disciples. Verse 13. And Moses and Elias went and stood before Yahshua, and he saw them. Verse 14. Moses said unto him, my son, the light of Elah is upon thee. Israel through thee shall regain the all one, which was lost. Verse 15. Thereupon Moses and his hosts, together with Elias and his hosts, went into the Octivane, the chariot, and immediately took course for paradise, God's heavenly seat, where they arrived in due season. And after 3 days, they again entered the fire ship and took course for Moses' Etherian realms. Now, chapter 44, verse 1 through 40 is the doctrine of Yahshua and his death. Verse 1, God said, "These were my doctrines as I taught through Yahshua." Verse 2, "Thou shalt keep the 10 commandments of Moses." Verse 3, "Thou shalt not engage in war, nor abate war." Verse 4, "Thou shalt eat no flesh of any animal, or fish, or bird, or fowl, or creeping thing which Jehovah created alive." So to those Israelites who try to justify eating meat, Yahshua was against such dietary practice. Verse 5, "Thou shalt dwell in families after the manner of the ancient Israelites who held all things in common." Verse 6, "Thou shalt have no king, nor queen, nor bow down in worship to any except the Creator." Verse 7, "Thou shalt not call on the name of angels to worship them, nor to counsel with them on the affairs of earth." Verse 8, "Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, and do unto thy fellow men as thou would have him do unto thee." Verse 9, "Thou shalt return good for evil, and pity them that sin." Verse 10, "It hath been said, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, but I say, return good for evil." Verse 11, "And if a man smite thee on one cheek, turn the other unto him also." Verse 12, "The man shall have but one wife, and the woman but one husband." Verse 13, "As the children honor the father, so will the family be blessed with peace and plenty." Verse 14, "Remember that all things are of Jehovah, and are of his servants to help one another." Verse 15, "And as much as ye do these services to one another, so serve ye Jehovah." Verse 16, "Behold only the virtue and wisdom in thy neighbor. His fault thou shalt not discover." Verse 17, "His matter are with his creator." Verse 18, "Call not on the name of any God or Lord in worship, but worship Jehovah only." So the name Lord, Adonai, God, Elah, Elohim, El, are not to be called on as references to the Creator. Verse 19, "And when thou prayest, let it be after this manner." Verse 20, "Jehovah who ruleth in heaven and earth, hallowed be thy name, and reverence amongst men. Sufficient unto me is my daily bread, and as much as I forgive those that trespass against me, forgive thou me, and make me steadfast to shun temptation, for all honor and glory are thine, worlds without end. Amen." Verse 21, "To visit the sick and distressed, and helpless and blind, and to relieve them, to provide for the widow and orphan, and keep thyself unspotted before men. These are the way of redemption." Verse 22, "Thou shalt take no part in the governments of men, but observe the will of Jehovah, being obedient unto all governments for his sake." Verse 23, "All men are the children of one Father, who is Jehovah, and whosoever chooses him and keepeth his commandment is his chosen." Verse 24, "To preserve the seed of his chosen, thou shalt not wed but with the chosen." Verse 25, "Contend not with any man for opinion's sake, nor for any earthly thing." Verse 26, "And let thy speech be for others' joy, nor open not thy mouth if thy words will give pain." Verse 27, "Therefore be considerate of thy speech, teaching others by gentleness and love, to be respectful toward all men." Verse 28, "Preserve the sacred days of the rabbis, and the rites and ceremonies of Emet Shavat," meaning order of Faithis. Verse 29, "For 3 years Yahshua traveled among the Israelites, preaching and restoring the ancient doctrine." Verse 30, "And there were gathered in groups of 10s and 20s and 50s, more than 2,000 Israelites of the ancient order of Moses, who became steadfast followers of the teachings of Yahshua." So here you had over 2,000 steadfast followers compared to only 12 disciples. Verse 31, "But because of persecution by the apostate Jews, they kept themselves aloft from the world, having signs and passwords whereby they knew one another." Verse 32, First, the god Baal, and after him, Thought, alias Gabriel, inspired the kings and rulers against these Israelites, the Faithists. So between 400 BC to the 1st century, Baal was responsible for inspiring the apostate Israelites and set up kingly ships after the manner of pagans. Verse 33, and they provided them by commanding them to eat flesh, even swine's flesh, the which, if they refused, was testimony sufficient before the laws to convict them of being enemies against the gods. Verse 34, so they were scourged and put to death whenever found. Verse 35, now when it came to pass that Yahshua went into Jerusalem to preach, and not many days thereafter he was accused of preaching Jehovah. Verse 36, and he was arrested, and while being carried to prison, he said, verse 37, ye are hypocrites and blasphemers, ye practice none of the commandments, but all the evils of Satan. Verse 38, behold, the temple shall be rent in twine, and ye shall become vagabonds on the earth. Verse 39, and at that the multitude cast stones upon him and killed him. Verse 40, and Jehovah sent a chariot of fire and bore his soul to paradise. So here it states Yahshua was stoned to death, a well-known custom among the Israelites to carry out punishment. And with that, I'd like to say peace and blessings and catch you on the next documentary called Lou Among the False Trinity God Styles Himself Christ and the Origin of Christianity. Shalom. Verse 2, and God provided a guardian.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Y'all spin a vortex if I could be heard, and if y'all got some understanding. Selah Shalom University. Shout out to Prince Cosmod. I like that. Yeah. That's Selah Shalom University right there. Playlist. Hey, we go to his channel. Playlist. Hey, get you on a watch, open up and get ready to get your mind blown. You feel me? And that's if you're trying to like really catch up and try to at least perceive where CGG is coming from. You did. So yeah, spit that vortex if I can be heard. You just got some understanding. My brother Selah Shalom. Selah Shalom University is in the building. Ooh-wee. Somebody gonna be mad. Y'all see the title though. Book of Judgment, Part 6, a resurrection and the dwelling of spirits after death. Good night. Man, I always come in with these topics. I'm tired of thinking. I'm tired of putting my beliefs, you dig, on the chopping block. I'm tired. Can I just do whatever you want to do? That's the beauty about what we talking. You feel me? You just responsible. That's it. You know, we be getting mad, It's just what it is. We're going to go to the book of judgment, I spade. We going through chapters 14, 15, and maybe 16 today. But I'm gonna start back up in chapter 13 toward the end of it. You did start at verse 40 right here. Bang. Right back at it. Yeah, y'all let them know CGG still cooking. What you mean? Pitching to them boys, strike out. Yeah. All right, so we're in the book of Judgment, chapter 13. We're going to start at verse 40. Oh, man. Which includes the woe man, too. All right. Oh, man, if only you would put yourself in the way of your God. To put away the uncleanness of the body first, and the uncleanness of your spirit afterward. God let you know how he got to the status of God. God is a one-time man. Elohim, it means judges, rulers, mighty ones. Yeah, all men. Yeah, I'm not about to play the word salads with us, the word sorcery. The Bible tell you God is a man. We just saying God is a one-time man. And which means he slid through the womb of his mama. Okay. Came out the nut bag of his father. Okay. Grew up, had a banky, receiving blankets, had to get burped, was on the teat. Had to be taught how to walk. You had morning breath, got sick at times, had some injuries. Yeah, already got married, had children, all that. Lived a life. He did, but eventually, when he put off this flesh and getting to the other side, God is a title and rank of what you can become. God is who you become, not who you're supposed to be praying to. There's someone who tells God what to do. There's a difference between the creator of all, the almighty creator, and any God. You see? So God letting you know what I mean, to get to where he is, you got to put away what? Uncleanness of the body first, and the uncleanness of your spirit afterward. Because it's some evil, diabolical people, right? That's running around here proclaiming to be vegan and plant-based and all that. So you can't just gauge it off that just because somebody don't eat. He ain't, chewing on a loin sandwich. It's a little deeper than that. All right? To seek for things that are pure and good instead of criticisms and philosophies that rise up out of your contaminated flesh house. I like that word right there, boy. I might have to start saying that. Y'all still chewing on these flesh houses? Dang. You better off putting your mind on things that are pure and good instead of always trying to find fault with something and, all your philosophies that, these things rise up out of your contaminated flesh house. This is not, this is not wisdom and light from above. Verse 42. Whoever desires resurrection, which should be everybody within listening range, pretty sure you don't want to fall and go backwards. You don't want to decline, do you? Whoever desires resurrection, let him begin to resurrect himself. Yeah. You got to do the work. Well, Christians hate the word work. What do you mean works? No, it's just pure faith. It's just belief. Them niggas want to be held to no. They don't want to be held to no type of works at all. No type of, hey man, just love your neighbors, yourself, do good, man. You know what I mean? Stop being a scandal. You over here claiming to be a Christian and just as scandalous as ever. Huh? The Muslims too. Don't forget about them. Them niggas is wild. Man, look, I'm talking about the Negroes of Islam. Man, them niggas, man. So it tell you, come on, man. You desire resurrection, begin to resurrect yourself. Put that work in. How do you do that, Malachi? By getting out here and just being sincere and genuine, being good, doing good to the next man, woman, animal, whatever, creation. Get out here and be a brother to creation or sister to creation. Stop being a damn nitwit all your life. You see that? Always looking to get over, always looking to hustle somebody, always looking to make somebody else look bad, always in competition with the next man, woman. Ain't no brotherly or sisterly nothing. Like you all about you. No, put that work in. You desire resurrection, begin to resurrect yourself. Clean yourself up, man. You understand? Commit yourself to something higher than yourself. Stop being so damn self-centered all your life. Commit your mind to something higher. He's saying you might as well go ahead and put that on Creator. Begin your resurrection process. What you waiting for? What you waiting for? Knows what it says. It say, do not make your confessions, which are between you and your Creator. Do y'all hear this? Do y'all hear this? Do not make your confessions, which are between you and your Creator, before men. Good night. Good. You gotta get you in the council. It's just to be counseling. Man, I remember that shit. Niggas was, man, I'm talking about damn near every day somebody be talking to. They're like, man, what, a plethora of demons invade you last night or something like what the hell going on? I'm talking about for any reason, too, man. It's counseling. I'm like, boy, what the hell you had going on last night? My sister be counseling, man. She burnt the eggs, man. I lost it. Like, what? Man, you gotta be careful. Talking about you out here offering consultations. Man, look, man. Hey, listen to me. Your people will talk your ear off and tell you all they business. I'm talking about every day. Nah. Can't trick me with that one no more. Man, I can't be knowing, sister, I can't be knowing that about you. You tripping. Bruh, I can't be knowing that about you. No. Nah, y'all got too much going on. I can pray for you. You dig? Tell you I'm in the same battle. Look, I can't be, I can't be looking at you like that. You can't just be dropping, just pulling up on me, just dropping all your luggage off. Nah. So it's telling you right here, it's how hard and practical, how clear Waspy is. It say, do not make your confessions, which are between you and your creator, before men. So don't let nobody, trap you into some type of counsel. That was they was trying to do with Yahshua, the Sanhedrin. And you niggas, I'm not making no confessions before you niggas. Oh no. But covenant with him within your own soul, saying nothing of this for the laudation of men. Yeah, get that right within your spirit, man. Between you and your creator. You know what I mean? You know whatever you did was, you understand, was way left field. You know that. You dig? And I'm here to tell you, unless you get that right, you know what I mean, that follows you into the next world. So you either gonna get it right now or later. And it's much harder that way. You know what I mean? It's a lot of training and education. You gotta learn how to be able to resist those atmospheric currents, and because your spirit is gonna drift to, what it likes, what's entailed on it. You really don't got the strength to so you're gonna be dwelling in the house of your chief desires for a long season until you develop the strength to know how to get away from it. It's much harder on the other side than it is now. So it tells you to stop telling your business. Stop telling your business to people, men. Get that right inside first, man. And then you already know if it's somebody that you need to go apologize to, then pull that person aside and rap to them. You dig? What you gotta is letting you know, stop all the loose living. Stop it. Nothing has been cured behind it. Yeah, these niggas is still as evil as hell. Then had 1,000 consultations. And in them 1,000 consultations, you probably had, niggas lick your fingers and flip through Bible. Well, brother, the scripture says, believe not in the spirit. If you look on a woman to lust after, it's adultery. And he leave about it there, may feel empowered for a second, but he right back to it. She right back to it. So a wise be telling you, hey, that's between you and your maker. You dig? And again, if it's somebody that you didn't harm, you need to go make that right. And you're better off doing it now than later. That's the point. All right. So don't make all that before men, but covenant with him within your own soul, saying nothing of this for the laudation of man. Your spirit is as a seed of a beautiful tree. So your spirit is compared to a seed. Kind of seed, Malachi, a beautiful tree. The seed that was planted to make the beautiful tree your spirit is compared to a seed. All right, that seed gets planted. Look at that, what your creator planted. Your spirit was planted by your creator. Where, Malachi? Give it good light. Give your spirit good light like that seed needs good light. Give it good light and a clean soil so that its blossoms and its fruits may glorify your creator and you. You see, we in that spirit work over this way. Huh? Yeah, it's way more of a problem because we dealing with the thing that's inspiring you, that's putting the battery in your back, letting you know it's a false god. You wasting your time over that way. You on a sinking ship. This how you know it's created, and this how you know it ain't. Huh? So if your spirit is a seed, you better give it good light and a clean soil. That way, when it starts to grow, it can be what? It can be a glory to your creator and yourself. Feed that spirit, man. You know what I mean? Famous niggas below the grades. Y'all know what I'm saying? Like, you know the system in order. We are in a very excellent spot. We in a very excellent spot, man. Like this type of stuff, you can't even get. Do you realize you can't go to the most prestigious university in the world and learn this? You can't even go. You can't even go to the most prestigious university, accredited university. Got professors on tenure and all that. Been around since the 1700s, 1800s. You can't even go to the most prestigious university in the earth and learn what you're learning right now. What that tell you? All this is backwards. And in the spirit world, the playing field is level. Can't no nigga pop up talking about he got racks on deck or nigga driving an SRT or that, man. All that's irrelevant. All that's irrelevant over this way. It's a no-fly zone. You can't even pop up arguing about your God or your Savior. Nah. You can't even endure the light of the Creator's kingdom. Everything's backwards. Huh? So it's telling you, like, look, go ahead and, feed that spirit, man. Give it good light and good soil. Huh? Look at this. Such is the resurrection of the spirit of men. Such is the resurrection of the spirit of men. Do not wait for a savior to save you. Do not wait for a savior to save you, nor depend on words or prayers. Good night. Nor on listening to good sermons. Good night. Flattering yourself that you have done well. But begin to say yourself, and trip about this, y'all. That's the totality of somebody's spiritual life today. They waiting on someone to save them, and they depend on somebody to pray for them. And they depend on somebody to read the Bible to them. They go to church on Sunday and listen to a sermon. That's the totality of the majority of the people in this world, especially those that's up under the Roman Catholic or the Christian brother. That's the totality of their spirit life right there. They wait on a savior to save them. Right? They depended on another one's words and prayers. They depended on the pastor to read the Bible for them so he can preach a good sermon. Yes, Lord. That's the totality of your grandmama and them spiritual life. That's it. Flattering yourself that you have done well. That ain't even no work you doing. How is you working? But begin to say yourself, how, Malachi? Look, right here. There's so much distaste on your mouth. All you got to do is just slow down and read. That's it. By purifying your flesh, by purifying your thoughts, and by the practice of good works done to others with all your wisdom, love, and strength. That's how. That's how you begin your resurrection process. That's how you begin to save yourself. what we just read before this makes you lazy. You sitting around waiting for someone to save you. You waiting on somebody else's words and prayers. You waiting for pastor to preach a good sermon. And in your mind, you think you live the saved life. This is what saved folk do. You ain't lifted a finger. And doctrine make you weak, lazy, shiftless. Huh? Begin to save yourself. How? By purifying your flesh, by purifying your thoughts, and by the practice of good works done to others with all your wisdom, love, and strength. Practical and simple. For through these only is there any resurrection for you. For through these only is there any resurrection for you. Either in this world or the next. Headshot, boy. Ooh, wait, oh, wait. If you get some understanding, man, drop a 12,000 in the chat for your brother, man. Dang, CGG still cooking. You have to take like a little break. Like, man, let me process what I just read. Hey, Prince, I don't know about you, bro, but man, I be reading that sometimes. I be having to take a step away for a second to process. So that's what I'm about to do. I'm going to share the book with y'all. Darkness of Determination, the practical guide on conquering depression and trauma by yours truly, your little brother, Malaki Macabee. Put up early this year, February, is on Amazon, or you can get it directly through me. You know what I mean? Easy money. So y'all dropping 12,000. Y'all get some understanding. Let me go ahead and fill my cup up real quick. Get myself together. I'm right back at it. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Let's get back to this. Let's get back to this book of judgment. Chapter 14. Man, there's some jewels up in that deal. There's some jewels up in that deal. Shout out to the haters, jackers, and naysayers. Yeah. We love y'all too. How do you begin to say yourself? Let me see if y'all know. Drop the answer in the chat. That just said, stop waiting on a savior to save you. Stop depending on somebody else's words or prayers for you. Stop depending on pastor to preach a good sermon, and you think you did some good work. You say, begin to say yourself. How do you begin to say yourself? Y'all put the answer in the chat. Let me see if everybody been listening a little taste. Look at this chat real quick. Shout out to my bruh. My bruh Cosmon Kruger is in the building. What's the word, bruh? What's the skinny, Cal? What's the skinny? Y'all go like, subscribe, share. That's Cosmon Cal, the cloud kicker, who I prefer to call Cosmon Kruger. What's the word, bro? How you be? Dang. Prince Cosmon say, do not wait for a savior to save you. Begin raising yourself up daily via practice of good works unto others with all wisdom, power, and strength, and worship to the ever-present Creator. Dang. Man, simple, ain't it? Real simple. You think people get it by now, but we complicate it. We complicate it. You know what I mean? And we've actually allowed ourselves to be deceived. You know what I mean? That's why what the gang is doing is very important. Very, very, very important. Because they're in a higher battle. They're in a higher battle in the galaxy than the overthrowing of the gods that have the sons and daughters of the Creator in bondage. You dig? But realize it's our choice. We choose that. We choose bondage. You dig? It's the ideology of a bruised and battered woman. She been getting the wig whooped off her head, and she still go back over there and love on this thing. Getting the wig whooped off her head. You see, and that's the syndrome we play with the false gods. A bruised and battered woman that thinks she can change the nigga that's whooping the wig off her head. Nah. That physical bruising come with a mental scar and mental bruising as well. Like some ain't right up top. You know what I mean? Some ain't right up top at that moment. You dig? And it's the same thing with us. We so loyal to some false ass gods that ain't did nothing but whoop the wig off our head. You dig? That's right. Diet got to do with it too. Purifying the body, purifying the thoughts. You know what I mean? Do something good for someone else. You know what I mean? Remember my yak say, yeah. It's simple, man. There ain't a higher fight though, y'all. Ain't a higher fight. You know what I mean? The gangster in the street ain't fighting a higher battle than us. You know what I mean? The Christian apologetic or the skeptic, ain't none of them fighting a higher fight. This is the highest fight in the galaxy. I don't care what nobody say. The fall of the gods, they got you in bondage and giving you the ever presence. Is reminding you of the ever presence of the Creator that's greater than all. You see what I'm saying? Woo, that's classic right there, boy. That's classic. Let's get into the chapter 14. Get into chapter 14, Book of Judgment. Dang. Regarding the foundations of the resurrections of your God, there are two kinds. One which deals with those already born, and the other with those who are not yet born. Good night. Good night, really. Look at this. Hold on. For after you have purified your flesh and spirit, two conditions are open to you: celibacy and marriage. Woo! Boy, I'm so glad it ain't just one. I'm so glad it ain't just the first one. Good night. Boy, no more loin warfare. I know that's, eventually, I'm pretty sure as you get older in life, the most you can hope for is a kiss and a cup of joe, a cup of coffee. As you get up in your 80s and 90s, you might get you a little kiss and a cup of coffee, a little scalp rub or something. That's about it. But I'm talking about as a young boy, though, like, what you mean? Well, I don't know. Numbers will be low. Numbers will be low right now. Niggas had to be celibate. Numbers would be kind of low. Oh no. All right, look at this. Well, after you have purified your flesh and spirit, two conditions are open to you: celibacy and marriage. To those who are by nature inclined to celibacy, let them rejoice. For in not having offspring, they shall have less bondage after death to remain in the lower heavens and to return to the earth to their kindred. So the less children you have, because you're still responsible for your living children when you cross over. Like, you know, like you're bound to your children or your offspring. Absolutely. For a certain period. For a certain period, like 6 generations, 200 years, something like that. You know what I mean? Look at this. It said right here. For in not having offspring, they shall have less bondage after death to remain in the lower heavens and to return to the earth to their kindred. Okay. Dang. Look at this. It is a great glory for them to make themselves brides and bridegrooms to the great spirit, to be his for righteousness' sake. But as to you who desire marriage, pursue the same course as to purity and holiness of person, regarding your own resurrection. See? Keep off that. See, so that means you can't just be out here marrying whoever just because you like, you know what I mean, his street status, or you like her physique. She the one that got her little body done up. You like her physique and all that. These are not even conditions you're supposed to be considering dealing with marriage. You're supposed to be dealing with, if you're pursuing marriage, and purity, holiness of person, like your spouse got to be on that type of time, because y'all want to bring forth heirs on that type of time. You feel me? The wrong people be getting with the wrong people. That's all. There was a time when marriages was arranged. You didn't have no choice. Now, you know what I mean? If you Pop negotiated, for Jethro to be your husband, ladies, and Jethro was your husband. It didn't matter if he was 4'5", hung off like a damn mouse. That was your nigga forever. But the decision was being made for you. These days, we all making our own decisions and making the wrong ones. It's telling you. But as to you who desire marriage, pursue the same course as to purity and holiness of person, regarding your own resurrection. Yeah. Look at this. Look at this. For in this you shall be graded also, according to what you do. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we can't keep striking out at this marriage thing, brothers, fellas. Yeah. You're being graded on it. And some of us have subpar grades. Let's be honest with you. You know what I mean? Be real with you. You can't keep striking out on this thing, because we're being graded in everything you do. The delight of your God, who has dominion over both the earth and her heavens, is to witness the birth of those who come from the pure in flesh and pure in spirit. See that? You're supposed to be linking with, in other words, you're supposed to be linking with somebody that's down with Creator. Period. Both sides of the aisle. Both sides of the aisle. That's supposed to be your chief concern. And like, does this person love the Creator? You know what I mean? Because you already know there's a certain way we gotta rock anyway. There's a certain way we eat, you know what I mean? It's a certain way we, pray, meditate, all that. Ways we get them dark forces up off of us, put them in check. Like, hey, since you're over here, you finna get this light too. Like, it's ways we get out. You know what I mean? To guard ourselves when they come down to purity and all that. You see? So those that love the Creator are supposed to be getting together. You feel me? And when one skip across your plate that's on that type of time, it really ain't too much like correcting that you got to do. You ain't got to remind them all the worldly, earthly thing. Like, look, we ain't doing that. It's going to take away from the grade. Or we ain't doing that. That's going to, have us all types of bad vibes. She already should be on it, or he should already be on it. Because they already in pursuit of their maker. You see what I'm saying? And that's how it's supposed to be. Look what it say again. It say, the delight of your God, who has dominion over both the earth and her heavens, is to witness the birth, see, babies of those who come from the pure in flesh and pure in spirit. All children are born into the world in likeness of the father and mother. Look at that. All children are born into the world in the likeness of the father and mother. And every child is a new creation. See, so there's no reincarnation. Every child is a new creation, quickened into life by the presence of the Creator, who is the all life. At the moment of conception, you're a new star in the universe. At the moment of conception, through the Creator's ever presence, you're a new creature. No, you haven't been here before. No. Those, what you mimicking and what you imitate is based off the spirits of the dead. That's the type of time they was on. And these spirits of the dead are not high-raised spirits. They're still wandering spirits on the earth who inspire you. You don't know no difference. You know difference, high-raised angel and these low wandering spirits who've been lingering the past couple hundred years. You don't know nothing about it. If you are pure in flesh, your child shall be pure. And if you are pure in spirit, your child shall be pure in spirit. You see that? What's up? You want some eggs? But you gotta put that down first. Put it down. I'm over doing my thing, little joker. Little joker me over, man. Are you gonna drink my whole thing? No, you can't have my whole cup. What is you doing, man? All right. Oh no, let me get myself. Okay, Jeremiah. Little joker. Handle your business. I got another apple for you in a minute. All right, say right here. Man, y'all little nephew, y'all gonna have to get this little joker. He be wild. Now watch this. It say, if you are pure in flesh, your child shall be pure. If you are pure in spirit, your child shall be pure in spirit. If you are a flesh eater, here we go with this. All right, but hey, we talking about being pure in flesh and spirit, right? And we talking about passing down these same traits to our children, right? That's what we talking about. This is what you need to be then. You know what I mean? Especially if you're in the mindset of baby fevers, still want babies and all that, sisters and all that. A lot of it got to do with the purity of the body and the purity of the spirit. A lot of it do. You know what I mean? Look at this. If you are a flesh eater, a drinker of strong drink, and a user of narcotics, your child shall come forth with your contaminations upon it. What do you mean narcotics, Malaki? Right here. Narcotics here. See, we ain't got to lick fingers and try to figure out what's going on. Narcotics here means any intoxicating or addictive substance, which includes stimulants, depressants, euphorics, hallucinogens. Is that how you say that, Keela? Hallucinogens and exhilarants. Boy, that's about it. Well, that's everything that's going on today in a nutshell, ain't it? All wrapped up in one. But notice what it says. Your child will come forth with contaminations upon it. See? See, the onus or the responsibility is on us. You can't blame nobody for that. It's on us. Dang. Now look at this. Consider then what your grade shall be, which shall be according to your heirs, as to their grade in the place where they are born, as to whether you surround the world with progeny lower in grade, or lift up the world by progeny or children of an exalted grade. See, that should be our aim. We out here still, especially if you're still active, knocking hip bones loose. Then you should be aiming to fill or surround the world with children of an exalted grade. You know what I mean? And it's right here. Look at this. Look at this. It said right here, be wise in the selection of your partner. But remember, it's on you. These ain't forced marriages. It's all on you. So look, be wise. Think logical. You know what I mean? It say be wise in the selection of your partner as to purity and righteousness. But do not be deceived by those who merely do not eat flesh. There it goes. For the purification of the corporeal, the physical body, is only half of the matter. Look for one who is pure in spirit. Dang, giving you game, boy. Huh? You remember, you can't even go to a university and learn this. The top prestigious university in the earth, you can't even go to and learn it. It's just giving you game on what you need to do. Exposing the deities everywhere. Dang. Yeah. Whoever is pure in the flesh and in spirit shall bring forth heirs to resurrection, which shall be little or no bondage to the spirit after death. But whoever marries for the earth only shall bring forth heirs of bondage and how the hell do you say that? Profligacy. I'm not even going to attempt, but it means lack of moderation. Now, Keila, you say that. You a cow, no. Profligacy. Profligacy. That sounds crazy. So lack of restraint and debauchery. Zealous indulgence in one's appetites. Boy, that boy go hard. And sin, indulgence in evil, shall come upon the heirs of that marriage. Wow. See, you ain't supposed to be marrying for earth only. You gotta consider the purity of the body and the spirit. When you go marrying because it's going to increase your family's wealth and empire by this. That deal just said, and profligacy and debauchery and sin shall come upon the heirs of that marriage. Good night, boy. Look at this. Look at this. So it's telling you, man, choose wisely. That's it. You ain't even got to overthink. Choose wisely. The spirits of such fathers and mothers shall fall in the grades in heaven, and long will be their bondage in Haddah, or the lower heavens. Your grade falls based off the fruit that you produce. Rise or fall based off the fruit that you produce, the seed that you plant. Remember, give it good light and good soil. You see, it's a serious thing, man. Ain't nothing to play with. You dig? But it's a beautiful thing at the same time. You dig? I guess the bonus is it feel good. I don't know. Look at this. Flesh eaters seek their partners according to the impulse of the flesh, as to its temptation, or according to riches or caste, all of which are earthly considerations and for themselves only, and with no regard as to what their heirs will be. And their offspring come forth in darkness. They're void of suis, meaning they don't have the clairvoyance. You understand? The clairaudient, the ability to hear, speak, and see with the spirit world. They don't have it. They are void of suis, void of heavenly aspiration, and death as to the voice of the Creator. Good night, boy. Good night, boy. Look at this. They go about saying, I see no all person. I do not hear the unseen. No, I cannot believe that any man has seen or heard him. This matter was revealed to you of old. Some are born of the beast, and some are born of the spirit, which I declare to you, O man, is the interpretation of all the poverty, crime, war, and licentiousness there is in the world. You're either born of the beast or born of the spirit. And those that are born of the beast, that's the foundation or the interpretation of all the poverty, crime, war, and licentiousness in the world is based off the conditions in which mortals are born, either of the spirit or the beast. Dang. Boy, I'm telling you, man, I'll watch me be dropping some heavy light, boy. You know what I mean? You be having that, man. Look, I'd have to read a chapter and just slide off for a couple hours. Let me think about what it was I just read. Good night. Look at this. This is the fountainhead which your God will bring to the understanding of all people. But there are many, even hundreds of millions, who cannot be made to appreciate this. Exactly. Your God will want to bring this understanding to all people, but there's hundreds of millions who cannot be made to appreciate this. That's wild there, boy. Hundreds of millions. Dang. Nevertheless, the kingdom of peace and righteousness shall not cover the earth over until this is understood by all men and women. All right, now look at this. Let you know the condition of the earth is on us. We spilled it. We got to clean it up. Enough of blaming everybody for your problems, even God or the devil. Whoever understands this, let him weigh it accordingly, and let such people be as societies to themselves. In this day, no mark of circumcision is required, but men and women shall converse on the ways of the Creator understanding. There's ain't no mark of circumcision even required. Most of us has been circumcised, wasn't even circumcised on the 8th day. Stop it. You got your cut, but you wasn't cut according to, it say 8th day. Hell, they be in the hospital cutting niggas that day. Next day. They're saying right now, in this day, no mark. In current time, no mark of circumcision is required. But this is what is required. But men and women shall converse on the ways of the Creator understanding. That's what we're supposed to be doing amongst ourselves, amongst our children. You know what I mean? Yeah, you look at Almighty Creator, the joke took off. You know, ran up the wall, swinging from the ceiling fan. Hey, what did you do? Man, I'm telling you, off the chain. And when you have children born to you, you shall consider the place of your habitation as the temptation more than your dominion over them. So we are always supposed to be looking to put our children in the safest surroundings, shouldn't we? That's what they're saying. Consider more of where you raising them at than, I'm the parent, I'm the, your dominion over them. To dwell in the city which is full of iniquity, you shall be a tyrant over your heirs, restraining them from liberty in order to keep them from vice. And in this you will be a sinner also. Yeah, because you ain't supposed to be putting your children in bondage. They got a certain, you know what I mean? You make yourself a sinner because you got them, they live in a place to where if you're not on top of them, it's like you in a whammy right there. You stuck between a rock and a hard place. Because if you just hands completely off, then you already know how shit, the streets is a beast. You see? So it's better off you aim to raise your children in environments that are safe to where you don't got to be a tyrant over them. Where you at? Where you going? Be here at this time. Do this, do that. Watch out. And then all that. You want to raise them in somewhere safe, somewhere where it ain't, you know what I mean, where the crime and all that just ain't right in your face like that. Look at this. But dwell in a place of purity. See? And give to them liberty and nobleness. They shall not be your slaves. Your children are not your slaves, man. And it's about this. Once they get of age, at best they just your brothers and sisters. If they grown at that point, they gonna do whatever the hell they want to do. And you can't put them in bondage. You don't got no control over them. You see? Look at this. In this matter you take upon yourself a new grade, according to your heirs and your godship over them. Be cautious in your proceedings. He who created you alive gave you no sinful desires. That's something we all got to remember. You got liberty and all that, but be cautious in how you move and out there, man. He who created you alive, your creator, he didn't give you any sinful desires. So if you got hot loins, boy, you know what I mean? You got hot loins with no discretion. You can't blame it on the creator. He who created you alive gave you no sinful desires because you are not yet a completed man. These things are. Good night. You're not perfected yet. That's a lot of it. You ain't reached perfection. You know what I mean? Groovy guru status. Nigga out here floating and levitating. You ain't even reached them levels. It's the creator ain't gave you no sinful desires. The reason you have them is because you're not yet a completed man. You haven't reached perfection. You know what I mean? Or reached the level to where that don't bother you at all. Like you ain't got no power over you. See what I'm saying? You shall find joy in your talents and profit in the wisdom of your God. To perfect yourself is a great glory. To raise up sons and daughters who are also perfect is a tenfold greater glory. Y'all hear that? Man, see, we supposed to be aiming to get these short leggers together. Get them this light by any means necessary. You dig? Give it to them. Look, they listening even when you think they not. Dig? Whether they, your grandbabies or your babies or whatever, just get it to them. Just speak it. You dig? It take root, and they straight tell you, boy, you raise up sons and daughters who are also perfect is a tenfold greater glory. For it is the fullness of the life of your creator. For it is the fullness of the life your creator gave into your keeping. For it is the fullness of the life you raising up your sons and daughters, your creator gave into your keeping, which is the glory of heaven and earth. Good night, boy. Man, if that old watch be hitting like steel, y'all drop a 10,000 in the chat, man. CGG still cooking. Y'all know how we cook. Yeah. That deal hitting like steel around this deal, man. Excellent game on, pursuing a marriage partner and all that. And having children. Instead of purity of the flesh, purity of the spirit, all that. You dig? So go ahead and drop that in the chat. What should you consider in choosing a partner? Choosing a spouse. What should you consider? Let's see if y'all been listening. Oh, wait. Go.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Y'all see 10,000s in the chat. I see answers on what you need to do to consider in considering a marriage partner. You know what I mean? Yeah, I see answers. Bang. Bang. Okay, okay. Okay. Hey, y'all in the chat, get it. One of the orders of Yah, peace and love to thou. Let's get into chapter 15. Book of Judgment here, hard boy. Hitting like steel. Let's get some more of this wisdom and game. Let's get it, chapter 15. All right, it says, of the abundance of your creator's creations, be appalled, oh man. Boy, y'all still thinking it's just the earth? Oh, even just within the earth itself. And that's just, man, just stop it, man. That deal say, be appalled. Boy, God telling you, hey, man, look, I don't even think you get it yet, young scrap. Hey, little joker, I don't even think you understand how real this get. You should be appalled. What's that word they used to use back in the day? Flabbergasted. At the abundance of your creator's creations. And I'm here to y'all with something. He's still creating. He never stopped. Dang. Consider the inhabitants of the whole earth. And the number of 1 billion brought into life every how many years? 33 years. 1 billion brought into life every 33 years. That number 33 again. Good night. You know, you can divide that billion by 3, and you know, every 11 years, see how many people born into the earth. Man, it says compute the number for 1,000 years and for 10,000 years, and yet the earth is not full. And the heavens of the earth are even as if scarcely habited. There are thousands of plateaus with no angels to dwell on them. What?
The heavens of the earth is the atmosphere. And it's saying there's thousands of plateaus within the earth's atmosphere and all its different layers. Like how are all these people born into the world every 33 years? Let alone how many people die and become spirits and cross over. And it's saying like the earth is never full, nor are the heavens ever full. They're never filled to capacity. And what's going on then? Look at this. But to induce the spirits of the dead to rise up from the earth. This is the work and glory of your God. Yeah, resurrection. Rising up from the earth, away from the earth, not coming back to it. Not in the flesh, back on earth. That's the same thing as reincarnation. Reincarnation means back in flesh. Incarnate, in flesh, do it again. Right? But it's the same concept with biblical resurrection. What happened? Lazarus died, and Lazarus was what we call resurrected, right? But he was back in flesh on earth. It's just a reincarnation, so you're born over as a baby. And I'm talking only I'm being fair with the Hebrews who teach reincarnation. You know what I mean? The Hindus and all them believe you can come back as a damn rock or whatever they are, a flower, a plant. But the Brews, to be fair, that teach reincarnation, they teach you come back as like your great grandson or something like that, every third, fourth generation, something like that. Huh? But notice what the glory of your God, what notice the work and glory of God is to induce the spirits of the dead to rise up from the earth. This is the work and glory of your God, not for, see, Owaspi's understanding and perspective on resurrection is once you die, you're into the spirit world, first resurrection, and then you continue to graduate or resurrect more and more. There are many resurrections, but resurrect higher and higher. You know what I mean? As you advance, as you train, as you get higher grades and all that, you continue to rise up or resurrect. It's not that resurrection in the flesh back on earth is the same thing as reincarnation. Same exact thing. You're back in flesh on earth. You haven't risen away from the earth. Or even Owaski's understanding when it comes to resurrection is superior. You dig? You die. The usual order is what? You die and you're not seen again in the flesh anymore. You continue. So either that's it, you fade to oblivion, fade to black, or there's another world or worlds beyond this physical plane. You dig? And that's where you at. That's where you continue to raise up and resurrect from. You see that? So the work and glory of God is to induce the spirits of the dead to rise up from the earth. Look at this. Look at this. To make them put away earthly desires, to become pure, wise, and strong, and adapted to the sublimated spheres. What an endless labor for your God and his exalted angels. Look what it says. To make them put away earthly desires, to become pure, wise, and strong, and adapted to the sublimated spheres. Rarefied, subtle, lofty spheres. So even the worlds outside of the physical world is considered a sphere. It's not considered a frisbee. Spheres, worlds. What an endless labor for your God and his exalted angels. As you, O man of the earth, hold to the desire for earthly things, you entail yourself in heaven and cannot rise upward. Even so is it with the great harvest, the billions of angels born of the earth. Good night, boy. Good night. As you, O man of the earth, hold to the desire for earthly things, you entail or enchain, encompass yourself, surround yourself in heaven and cannot rise upward. Even so is it with the great harvest, the billions of angels born of the earth. If you stand a pyramid before you, the width of the base being equal to the height, such are the proportions of the spirits of the dead on their entrance into the spirit world. Good night. So it's more at the bottom, it's more lower than higher. And that's why I was saying there are plateaus that angels ain't even inhabiting, because most spirits of the dead, when they cross over, they don't rise. A lot of them don't rise up. It takes a long time for them to rise up. It's in the same similar to if a pyramid was in front of you. You have more space at the bottom than up top. Dang, that's crazy. It say such are the proportions of the spirits of the dead on their entrance into the spirit world. Consider then, O man, how sparse the settlements are in the upper kingdoms of the earth's heavens compared to the numbers in the lowest grade. And remember the percentage of inspiration that comes to you from this lowest grade, which is doubly degraded in the cities and great capitals. Dang. You're like, there's more inspiration coming from these low-raised spirits than these high-raised ones. Everybody, the upper kingdoms are barely inhabited. That means, y'all, the majority of the spirits that's inspiring mankind are spirits that are in kindergarten. Low in number, low in grade. You think you just been talking to your spirit guide, calcifying your pineal gland, and where the hell has it gotten you? You've been dealing, majority of our people, especially you've been dealing with psychics, mediums, any of that. You dig? These are low grade and rated spirits. And some of them are in kindergarten. They're below the grade. Yeah. These are drudges, bands of misfits. See that? You know them today as the YNs. Look at this. Know, O man, that all cities built by men sooner or later fall into destruction. Here you go, claiming your little city. Know, O man, that all cities built by men sooner or later fall into destruction. Search into the generations as to the grade of mortals, and you have a type of the spirits of that city, chiefly as to the lowest grades. But remember, the highest grades of angels go away, while the lowest remain. As the spirits of one generation are to the form of a pyramid, so will be the spirits of that city in the next generation. But in proportion to the increase of the mortal city and in proportion to the raising up of the second, third, fourth, and fifth grades, so will the relative increase be in the proportion of drudges, demons that dwell in that city. Man, these is low-graded spirits. We see the fifth grade is the highest so far. Fifth grade. And in time, all holiness passes away from there. And when your God abandons that city for a day, taking away his holy angels, the people fall into anarchy or run with brands of fire and burn down the city. See, when you start seeing all the rioting and protesting, God called his angels away from that place. Yeah. You dig? And the YNs rush in. That's how I go. And also in your life, you look, when real ones remove themselves from a situation, it be all bad. It be all bad for the person or the individual. It be all bad. A real one to move himself out the way. And sometimes that's the only thing that was keeping the other person safe and grounded. Straight up, when the real ones get out the way, when God call away his holy angels from protecting and surrounding that city, because mortals choose darkness, choose the ways of the false gods over the light of the Creator. Here come the riots, here come the anarchy, here come the assassinations. And the hundreds of millions of drudges lose their anchorage on the earth, and your God and his exalted ones march them away. Find the grade and rate of declension of the mortals of a city. And when the whole number, including the spirits, has fallen to 1%, 1%, you should prophesy the time of the fall of that city. Good night, boy. Watch me teach you how to prophesy. Huh? It's just time to get them pen and pads out of them dry erase boards with them markers. It's time to start putting facts to figures. Especially in today's time, man. You live in a time where they got stats on everything. You can easily figure some stuff out now. Especially given the formulas in the watch. That's what you need to do. You can easily figure something out now. You can go search the stats for whatever, crime, whatever, going back a couple hundred years if you need to. Look at this. Be fearful of the abundance of drudges about you. Drudges are demons, below the grade demons or spirits. And search out your own imperfections, uncleanness, and your passions, lest drudges fasten upon you in a way you do not know of. So it's saying, look, these suckers is all around. So make sure we checking ourselves. You don't want them suckers to fasten upon you. As you out here kicking the Willy Bobo. You out here kicking the Willy Bobo now. You okay. So understand, be aware. There are abundance, especially if you live in a high crime city. There are abundance, a plethora of demons or what we call drudges that are around you. There's plenty of them. And being that's the case, we need to be self-examining. You know what I mean? Whatever passions you got, the imperfections and all that, work on getting it together. Because what you don't want to happen, you know what I mean, is for these suckers to fasten upon thou. Okay? Real spill. Look at this. Do not call upon the spirits of the dead to come to you. Do not call upon the spirits of the dead to come to you. It's 2025. We're still talking about they praying to the spirits of the dead. You know what I mean? Think about it. Do not call upon the spirits of the dead to come to you, but call on your Creator for wisdom. Light, truth, and purity. And if it will be well for you, he will send to you those spirits who are best adapted to you for your resurrection. So you pray the Creator, and the Creator dispatches the right types of spirits you need to be hollering at. Here you go, saying and calling on the spirit of Tupac Shakur. No. Look, get about these streets, man. Right? There's a way you do look, spiritual communion is a real thing. Most of you already been doing it your whole life. You just don't know that's what that is. Right? But it's a way you do things. All right? It's a way you handle up. If you going war, handle properly. Right? If you can't ball, don't play then. Don't play. All right? So it's saying pray to your Creator for wisdom, light, truth, and purity. You dig? And the Creator will send you those spirits who are best adapted for your resurrection. That's powerful, man. That's powerful. Look at this right here. It's right here. Whoever consults the spirits as to earthly things, profits, great undertakings, marriage, war, or riches is already in the hand of drudges. Hold on. Oh, man. Oh, my God, man. Hey, it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on, man. Especially with the sisters, too. It's a lot going on. You know what I mean? A lot of sisters I heard acting like they doing what their grandmamas was doing. How about they spiritual now? Listen to me. Whoever consults the spirits as to earthly things, profit, great undertakings, marriage, war, or riches, is already in the hands of drudges. Woe to him in the hour of death. Good night, boy. Good night, boy. See, you ain't supposed to be spiritually communicating by no type of earthly endeavors. Right? If you want you a prophet, you got to get out there and go get it. Y'all do know there are angels who can give less than a half of a damn about you winning the lottery, you climbing, you diving head first into Mount Vesuvius. They don't give no damn about none of that. They only concerned with your resurrection. They don't care nothing about, your bucket list. Yeah. If you want to accomplish your bucket list, then that's what you got. That's on you. That's your choice. See, you're not supposed to be consulting the spirits of the dead for any of that. How about you consult ask the creator or have the creator send you some wisdom, light, and all that, and he send you the right type of angels that will aim you toward resurrection, right? And in your communion, in your spirit communion, you should be asking how you can become a better asset to the humanity of mankind. What can I do to help the less fortunate? What can I do to be a succor to the needy and the less fortunate? What can I do? Show me the light on how to, take care of those who are diseased and sick. And that's what you need to be talking about if you spiritually communicate, not no type of earthly endeavor. That deal say is already in the hands of drudges. Good night, man. Look, some of y'all young enough. Y'all remember Miss Cleo used to come on BET back in the day? It's already in the hands of drudges. Woe to him in the hour of death. And a lot of you sisters out here claiming you taking on some type of spiritual practice of what your grandmama was doing back in Louisiana some damn where. Huh? All right. I'm saying you ain't heard that none of your spiritual systems done told you about in detail what you about to run up against, where you going, what you need to do to avoid all that darkness. They ain't saying none of that. They just acknowledging there's some spirits in which it is, and you know what I mean? I gave Shango a nigga some barley grass, and my solar plexus opened. Like, look, man. Look, get yourself together. All right? Spiritual communication is real, but there's a way you do it. You ain't trying to be in the hand of no drudges, little mama. Get yourself together. I heard talking about you doing some spells and some work. And man, look, if you don't go sit your ass down somewhere, that shit'll backfire on your ass, and you be out here low running. Look at this. When you sit in communion with angels, do so reverently to your Creator. And the members of your circle shall pray to him or sing songs of praise and glory to him and his works. Nor shall you habit yourself to sit with those who do not do this reverence to Creator. And when the angels appear and converse with you, remember that even the least of them has passed the bars of death. Spiritual communication is real, but it's the way you do this thing, man. It's the way you do this thing, man. This is real spill. Like, you got to be real. I'm telling you, watch out. Yeah, we know certain things is false. But man, look, don't go to the far extreme. You got liberty. You over here jack naked. You calling on all types of nigga deities. And man, look, you better go sit down, Lamar. You better go sit down. Because it ain't told you nothing about that. You don't got no system in order about what's going on. You just as lost as the Christian who you claim to hate because you church hurt. just as lost as a brew or Israelite who you claim that the hate because you camp hurt or assembly hurt. Get yourself together. I'm telling you, this is right now. This ain't the hour to be out here caught with your pants down and your skirt lifted up. This ain't that time. You did? Greater Gang out here letting you know what it is. And even if you ain't trying to rock or understand what we're saying, you can't find nobody that got a more detailed account about what's to come. You don't got it. They say, remember, the least of the angels that appear and converse with you, then the least of them have passed the bars of death. Huh? Look what else it say while you're doing your spiritual communication. Now notice this. Do not be long-faced or melancholy with doleful songs. How many of y'all be in y'all little spiritual rituals, your rites and ceremonies, face all long, talking all dry? It ain't no spirit up in here. It ain't, you know what I mean? Spirit. You're supposed to be lit in the Creator. What is all this? But look at your little rituals with your voodoos and your hoodoo. Man, they faces be long. It be all everything doleful, melancholy. Look what it say, but rather cheerful, like the birds that sing to the Creator. And let your speech be respectful and relating to spiritual things. Learn from them of the places they inhabit in heaven and the manner of their occupations. You spiritually communicating, right? Well, there's certain questions you need to be asking. Hey, man, what is like living with y'all? They're like, dang, so what y'all do on the, you know what I mean? Here you go asking for Powerball numbers. Look at this. And if you inquire of them regarding earthly things, let it be about how you may help the poor and distressed. See that? You see that? How you can help the poor and distressed. If you're going to converse, you know what I mean, with a spirit or an angel, or you call an ancestor, about earthly things, you know, they tell them to throw you some game on how to help the poor and less fortunate. See, it ain't about you. It ain't even about you. Look at it. For if the angel that talks with you is a drudge, a demon only, watch this. Your discourse or conversation shall in this way awaken him to see his own shortness. See, we're responsible for the resurrection of angels too who have crossed over in darkness. See? When you ask about how you can help the poor and distressed, it's gonna hit him like, dang, I don't even ask about that. Look at this. See? Not only do we let you know about the communication aspect of it, you learn to tell the difference between a high-raised angel and a spirit, an ancestor you talking to who ain't raised up past your nostrils. They still right here wondering, bumping their head. But you're in reverence. Look at this. And if they are high-raised angels, they shall understand the working of your soul, and they will provide you for your everlasting exaltation. Good night, boy. Dang. Huh? Be upright before your Creator and your God who know your weakness. Emulate them. Copy Creator. Copy your God, right? Emulate them in all your doings. For this is the way of resurrection. Worlds, with an S, without end. Man, if y'all get some understanding, drop a 3,000 in the chat for the arc cycle Cosmon, man. Great is truly marvelous. Truly marvelous. Holy. Bomb after bomb. I heard him mix with things. It's believers, man. Remember what we was hearing not too long ago? Emulate your maker. Emulate your maker. Wait. Wait. Easy money. Easy money. Got everybody just want to start. Wait. Low one. Yeah. It's going down in this deal, man. Oh wait. Oh wait. CGG still cooking. Tell them boys we pitching till they strike out, Carol. Cosmine Kruger in the field, my brother. What's the deal? Yes, sir. I did do this chapter 16, so we got to do about chat. And then your little administration happens all day, every day, y'all. So. That's what's up, Angelic. I see you, Angelic. Okay. I see y'all in the building. Easy to understand. It ain't hard to understand. What you say, Cowboy? The spirits left New York, he went up with a blaze in 1861. Boy, you say Tabitha, when the faithful left Egypt, them Georgians had the mastery of Egypt. The YNs. Boy. Oh man, the YNs. He was always meant to pay them big brothers. Man. As long as they look at the wrong you do, man, shit, your material possessions make you a slave, all that shit after, once you cross over. The rich is actually slave bound. Good night. Chapter 16, Book of Judgment. Oh, hey. The most feared book in these YouTube streets or conscious community streets, if you want to call it that. But not for any reason that's bad. You know what I mean? We in the Cosmine era, brother. Cosmine era. Started in 1848, Common Era. Right around the time they started discovering gold on the West Coast. 49ers. In the Cosmine era. We did almost 200 years into it, actually. That's a whole nother topic. But let's get into this. We go into the timetables of prophecy and all that a lot on this channel. On Cosmine Cal, go ahead and subscribe to him. Jordan, subscribe to Cosmine Cal TV right there. Yeah, subscribe to Cal. Cal is very detailed oriented when it comes down to the particulars. You know what I mean? Of time, history, all of it. That brother is, he ain't just one lane with this. You know what I mean? Cal drove down there in every lane when it comes to Owaski. You dig? So yeah, subscribe right there. You're going to get that handle. If you see Sela Shalom TV in there, subscribe there too. You dig? And they'll go over the timetables of prophecy with you to where you understand and show you how even the Yugas, because some cats use the Yugas out here, how that's off. You know what I mean? That's off. Show you how to make it make sense too. You know what I mean? So yeah, check them brothers out. Check out Cosmon Cal TV right there. Go to his live section. Look for some videos that, you know, topics that sound like you want to get out on. Everything from science to history to time to cosmogony to, man, you name it. You name it. All of it. Right there, right there in one channel. Shout out to my brother Cosmon Kruger, man. Straight up. Now, ain't no problem, Jordan. It's all good. It's all good over this way. Chapter 16, oh, I speak. Let's get into it. They say, oh man, weigh the words of your God, your elder brother, of tens of thousands of years experience. Good night, man. Look, you've been praying to God your whole life in your prayer breath. You've been praying to God. God is revealing in this day, I'm your brother. You dig? This title I hold, you gonna hold one day. But he's saying, like, look, I've been in the unseen realm for tens of thousands of years, though. He got Big Bro got some experience. So it would, guess what? It would profit us to listen and take heed. But God is not the creator. The creator made God. God is a creation. That's one of the hardest concepts, man. That's one of the hardest concepts, that and the creator being ever present. And I noticed that earlier when I was thinking about something earlier. Matter of fact, yesterday, I was like, dang, Christians never say Jesus is ever present or omnipresent, fills all space and place at the same time. Meaning there's no place you can go where Jesus is not, even with those who say, well, he's in the hearts of those that believe. But what about in the hearts of those that don't believe? So he ain't there. So even by your own logic, he's not ever present or omnipresent. Filleth all space and place at the same time and yet unseen. I say, dang, they never make the claim that Jesus is ever present. But trip off this, if Jesus is not ever present or omnipresent, Jesus is not the creator. Say it again. If Jesus is not ever present or omnipresent, which means to fill all space and place at the same time, including right now, then guess what? Jesus is not the creator then. He's not ever present. See, we talking about, if we don't talk about Jesus, we talking about who he was praying to. If we gonna go with the concept, we talking about the one who made him, his father. He kept talking about. You can't go wrong there. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. So look at this. It says, where your soul perceives a ray of light, follow it in truth and not in words merely. It has been said of old, you cannot serve both God and self. And many go about preaching this. But they themselves labor for self every day. Hold on. Dang, that's cold. To serve your God is to work for others, especially the sick and helpless, and not for yourself. Your prayers and confessions to me, this is what God telling you, are only the waste of your breath. You're wasting your prayer breath. If you're really a servant, you're really, putting in that work that God trying to put you on game about, right? Really work for God, then it's like you work for others, especially those who can't help themselves. You're not working for yourself. Your prayers and confessions to me are only a waste of your breath. Good night, Wade. Good night. Hold on. He said, It's a waste of your breath to be praying to God. Huh? Man, look, get on out there and do something good for somebody today, man. You'll feel a lot better. You won't feel like a nitwit your whole life. Get out there and do something good, man. Like it feels marvelous. Like, oh, okay, dang. I can do this every day. You know what I mean? I can do this every day. To be honest with you, it don't cost. Look, it costs you 0 cents an hour. Just to be real with folks. Just to be good. Just to, you know what I mean? It costs 0 cents an hour. It don't cost you anything. Huh? It don't cost you anything. What it benefits you. It is adding to your spiritual makeup, vibration, and all that, man. It don't cost you nothing. God say, if you praying to me and confess, you're wasting your breath. You wanted to be shown that you rock with what God is saying? Well, get out there and help somebody, man. Especially those who can't help themselves. If y'all understand that, drop a 7,000 in the chat. There are those who preach for money. There are those who preach for money. And also graduated from the colleges and are called learned priests. But they have not yet learned not to serve mammon, except in words. Here you go. You so prestigious and got the letters behind. You learn it. And now you tripping. That's learned. Learned priests. Hold on, girl. Hold on. See what you talking about. Scroll what up? The page? All right, hold on. All right there. You talking about right there? That's cool. Right there. I hope that worked for you, Keith. I think that's what you're talking about. Dang. There are those who preach for money and also are graduated from the colleges and are called learned priests. But they have not yet learned not to serve mammon except in words. Let's keep going. Look at this. What I say, man, in the spiritual paradigm, the playing field is level. You can't pop up bragging about none of that stuff you're talking about. It means nothing. Look what it says. It says, I say to you that a poor man who cannot read a line, who goes into the house of the afflicted, given what little he has, and with a willing heart cleans the floor and garments of the bedridden, is more learned in my kingdoms than these graduated preachers are. Ooh, boy, man, leave me alone. Man, I'm not falling for none of that. This is Dr. Creflo, snakes with a capital S. I don't care nothing about none of that. Ooh, look at Pastor. He got extinct animals on his feet. I don't care nothing about none of that. That just said a poor man who ain't even got nothing. Huh? Give him the little that he had. Go into the house of the afflicted and will clean the floor and clothes of the bedridden. Look, he can't even read a line of what you're talking about. He illiterate. Huh? It's more learned in my kingdoms than these graduated preachers are. If y'all don't leave me all the way along. Bet not Nam, preacher, elder, moray, makeshift captain come bragging to me about nothing ever again in life. You're going to get look, I'm going to royally bless your ears. Huh? The word labor or work is easily understood. Easily understood. This ain't hard. Man, salute to that poor brother who could barely read, if he can read at all. Huh? But the spirit of creator is in his back. You dig? And he go and execute. Get a little bit that he had. Go into the house of the afflicted, clean the floor, and you know what's on that floor. Huh? You can only imagine what's on the floor of the afflicted, the bedridden. He cleaned the floor and washed the clothes of the bedridden. It's more learned in my kingdoms than these graduated preachers are. The word labor or work is easily understood. Man, get out there and do something good for someone, man. Stop making this thing all about you. Huh? Do not allow yourself to be deceived by those whose trade is preaching and praying. Yeah, see, now you look, pig meat eating preachers, now y'all getting exposed. Huh? And all you YouTube prophets, all you men that's running around making 6 figures a year because you're making YouTube videos. Huh? Their trade is preaching and praying. And that's from you cats to you congregation Israelites. That's playing church. Huh? But this is their trade, y'all. That's what these men do. Do not allow yourself to be deceived by those whose trade is preaching and praying. They profess to be laboring for the spiritual man. And according to the number of their converts, who are also taught words, prayers, and confessions instead of works. Instead of works, so are they called great workers for the Lord. Great workers for the Lord. Man, this letting you know ain't none of them niggas in there working, man. That ain't work. Because you go listen to somebody talk. Because you waiting for somebody to save you. Because you waiting on somebody to give you a good word or pray for you. That ain't work because you sitting up there listening to some music. And you called a great worker for the Lord. But I say to you, all these are only the subterfuges of Satan to palm off words for works. Good night. Good night, boy. And Satan is selfish, self-centered, self-centered. Y'all up in them churches, whether they Israelite churches or Christian churches, wasting your time. None of that's work. None of it. None of it. Christ said he won't practice. All that talk don't mean nothing. We just read what God said. You wasting your breath praying to me. Get on out there and do something to make the world a better place. That's how you show that you are servants of the Creator. That's how you show that you listen to what God said. Get up and do something. I'm waiting on something to happen. Get up and do something. All such preachers, priests, and converts are still lingering in the mire of grade who? Grade 1. Your favorite pastor, y'all, barely made it out of kindergarten. He's in the first grade. He's in the first grade. Do we need to go look at where grade? Hold on. Don't get me started. Hold on. What you think it's a game? What you think we playing? You must think we playing. We gonna show y'all what grade 1 is at, since everybody got jokes. Let's go see what grade 1 is at. Yeah. Y'all like that too, Kyle. Palming off words for work. Palming off words for works. Good night, man. These niggas is in, you mean these niggas in grade 1? Them and their constituents. Man, watch what grade 1 is at, man. Like, I don't, just leave me alone. So I'm saying. It's starting to get bad, man. It's just starting to get bad. Like, the exposing that's being done everywhere this go around is just like, man, look, man. Huh? Let me show y'all something. Man, let me show you something, man. Look at it. Grade 1. So you're basically a wandering spirit on the earth. Grade 1. That means your famous crew, your Creflo Dollars, your T.D. Snakes, your Kenneth Copelands, your Jenny Swaggarts back in the day, all these men, Billy Graham, right there. Talking about they finna go to heaven with Jesus and sing holy, holy, holy all day. Them niggas is wandering spirits stuck on this earth, slaves to a false god. They barely made it out of kindergarten. Almost fell below the grade. Do y'all see that? That's crazy because those is like that. In order to even get a grade 1, it means you're completely selfish. All you do is serve yourself. The lowest grade is the first grade, unless you're below the grades in pre-K and kindergarten. So if you serving self, you're serving Satan. I know. And now you know all the preachers, priests, and converts are still lingering. Grade 1. You thought Billy Graham was in heaven with white Jesus. So you thought, huh? Look at this. Look at this. Hear your God and weigh his words in the balance. Do not be blinded by the tricks of Satan or self. A preacher receiving a good salary gives half his money to the poor and the other half to the church. And his people say, oh, what a good man of God. Oh, what a good man of God. Oh, what a good man, huh? And immediately they raise his salary. Oh, hold on, my bad, y'all. And immediately they raise his salary. And they present him a good house where he feasts sumptuously every day, laughing up his sleeve. Huh? Hollyhocking. Huh? Hollyhocking. It's a laughing up his sleeve. Dang. That's serious right there. Laughing up his sleeve. Oh, man. Y'all got to learn to leave us alone. That's all I'm saying. Look at this. Now, I say to you that this preacher contributed nothing to the poor. The money he gave away was not his, but the fruit of hypocrisy. Huh? Because he did not practice labor. Nah, you ain't laboring, just speaking, talking. No. No, that's not, you just talking. Huh? Because he did not practice labor, but as a beggar and a vampire obtained his money. Not for work, but for words. He was false before Creator. Oh! Boy, I'm trying to tell you the playing field is level over this way, boy. You can't brag about the size of your congregation. You can't brag about none of that. How much money you getting off YouTube streams? None of that. Huh? Because he did not practice labor. He did not practice labor. But as a beggar and a vampire, I obtained this money. Good night, boy. The damn bloodsucker. Not for work, but for words. But for words. He was false before Creator. To serve your God or to preach and practice the words of your God does not require great oratory or education. I do not require colleges to brace me up, nor preachers who do not serve the Creator. Ooh, boy. Right, ain't playing with you boys. You know, great oratory skills. Huh? Don't need no fancy makeshift diploma. You can print off your own printer. Huh? Preachers don't even serve Creator. They serve self. Look, one cries out, "Come to me, God," or "Make your peace with the Lord." But he himself will not give up his bed to a poor, sick woman, nor share his house with the poor of his own church. Man, look at this, man. I say to you, all such are either hypocrites or deceivers of their own souls. Bag drop, boy. Bag drop, boy. Bag drop, boy. Now, greater say practice. Get to work. Lay your hands on something. Huh? Enough with the molly cuddling and tiptoeing through the tulips. Huh? Handle your business. If not, what are we doing? What are we out here doing? Just talking? Huh? Tarrying for Jesus? Like, what is we doing? What's really going on around these parts? What's really going on? You see what I'm saying? Like he tell you get to work, man. Look what he say. Unless you use your hands and bend your back and practice producing something in the world and contributing it to others, you are none of mine, nor know the way to come to me, nor to make peace with me. Boy, y'all heard that? Unless you put your hand to the plow, all that talking, you paying this nigga to talk to you. You paying this, no, you paying him to talk to you about me. Oh man, y'all just gotta, man. Y'all over here, this nigga got a whole salary. Dang. And, the gang, us, we just slow cooking. It's all good. I guess the world will catch up eventually and be coming to ask their little questions, but dang. Huh? Rather say, boy, you better get to work, practice, put your hands on something, man. We need to be making something, producing something. Other than that, what are you doing? Who you waiting on? We done read today, it's a waste of your breath, praying to God. You better get out there and do it yourself. You dig? All you gotta do is ask prayer to guide you. Huh? Get it done. Get it done. Huh? He say, unless you use your hands and bend your back and practice producing something in the world and contributing it to others, you are none of mine, nor know the way to come to me, nor to make peace with me. Good night. Huh? It has been said of old, do to others as you desire to be done to you. Also to return good for evil and to sell all you have and give to the poor and love your neighbors yourself. And these words are well known. But who is there that practices them? See? When it comes down to the work, shit. You already know. Insufficient funds. Huh? Insufficient funds. We just reading it. Huh? But you ain't jumped out there and pressed play on it, though. You ain't pressed play. Huh? Look at this. In which case, the words are impotent, weak, and of none effect. Instead, many practice serving themselves by their labor. But in the Creator's service, their practice is by prayers and confessions. Words. But you'll labor for yourself, though. Huh? But you labor for yourself. But when it comes to the Creative service, you just bumping your gums. You talking in your prayer breath. That's it. Words. Dang. Saying it is not possible to do these things in the present condition of society. Malachi. I'm hearing all the excuses there. Did your God limit you saying do this in the present condition of society? The way was open for another condition, but you did not seek to find it. You would not give up yourself and live in a brotherhood under the name of liberty. You held fast to Satan and his haunts, saying, I am willing to serve the Creator, but I will not sacrifice my liberty. Huh? Look at this. And you sell yourself to self, which shall follow you into Hadar, or the next world, the lower heavens. Now remember, self is Satan. Anybody you know that's selfish, that's Satan. The Creator is opposite of that, selfless. Huh? And we supposed to adapt the same type of character. Right? Look for who you can do the most good for. You ain't worried about yourself like that, because you know you good. Huh? It's a great glory to raise someone up and unfold them in ways of their darkness and put them on the path of light, man. That's powerful, man. That's powerful. Look at this. Know then, O man, that whoever would rise into my organic kingdoms in heaven shall teach himself the first lesson of liberty. What is that, Malachi? Which is to free himself from self. First lesson of liberty. We in school today. All right, make sure y'all highlight that. I'm gonna ask y'all, what is the first lesson of liberty or freedom? All right, I'm gonna ask y'all that later on. What is the first lesson of liberty or freedom? All right, which is to free himself from self. He should not say, I want this, or I must have that, or I cannot have self, or I cannot have self-abridged, or I will suffer no dictation. I say to you, all such men are already in the bonds of drudges and the throes of hell. The throes of it. Oh, boy. Not the throes of hell. Good night, boy. Now, this basically somebody claiming they down with Creator, but they really don't want to sacrifice self, man. You know what I mean? For the sake of others. And even, you know, that's the mindset you need, you know, especially you building a community or any of that, going to get land. We got to all be in the mindset of serving one another. You know what I mean? And that means a lot, because the sister may need you to go out your way to go get something for her. You know what I mean? Because she may have an ailment or something. You got to go get it done. You serve others or you don't. And by doing this, you're showing service to the Creator. You feel me? But that deal said the throes of hell. But you shall say, this is what we say. Here I am, O Creator, your servant. appropriate me, use me whichever way I can do the most good to others. Myself is no longer any consideration. Make sure y'all highlight that. It's something you should be saying within your spirit, man, every day. All right, the watch be full of all types of different nuggets that you can just repeat to yourself like affirmations daily. Dang, that's hard. Dang, that's hard. Dang. You feel me? Dang. Use me or appropriate me whichever way I can do the most good to others. Myself is no longer any consideration. This is to be a faithist in the Father. Dang. I'm gonna ask y'all that later too. What does it mean to be a faithist in the Father? Look at this. Look at this. If an exalted man marries a woman beneath him, he can lift her up. But if an exalted woman marries a man beneath her, he will pull her down. And even so is it with the righteous man who weds to the world and lives in it. Sooner or later, it will pull him down. That's why we all making efforts and all that to get up out of these cities and all that, man. Some land, just get out the way. You know what I mean? Get out the way. Eventually, it's just what it is. But if the righteous man goes with his fellows into a separate place and weds himself to the Creator and his ways, then that righteous man shall be lifted up. And moreover, he shall be a power to lift up the world. Shall a bride not live with her husband? Straight up. And those who choose the Creator live with him. I say to you, if you do not live in a brotherhood on earth, you should not soon find one in heaven. Shout out to the Creator gang, man. Shout out to the CGG. You know what I mean? That's what that is, us coming together, forming a brotherhood on earth. You feel me? Straight up. But they say if you don't do that on earth, you're not going to soon find one in the heaven. That's the truth. That's the truth. Yeah. Look at this. But you shall unite yourself with those who are compatible with you, with whom you shall live equal in all things. There you go. You still got that, you the big muckety muck vibe. No, all things in common. You live equal in all things where you can do to them as you would be done by. Loving them as yourself, returning good to them constantly. Being willing to make any sacrifice of your own self-desires for the sake of founding the Father's kingdom on earth. Flat out. Flat out. Look at this. Remembering you were born in darkness and are not the same as will be the generations who come after you, who shall be born in these communities. His kingdom. See, so us moving about the way or the world's way, getting our land and building our communities, that's the beginning of the Creator's kingdoms on earth. You actually build it. There are separate societies that are pledged to the Creator. All right, you actually build his kingdom on earth. All right, and you start with the youngins. You bring all the shorties and orphans and all them. Get all the little jokers in there. we about to go ahead and squash this early. Get all the little short leggers and short runners. All you little jokers come over here and pile up in her. Yeah, we about to go. We about to put Creator right on these little jokers. Yeah, we about to go ahead and sweep all this madness up. They get it early. They can run around and flip it, do their thing. We ain't got to worry about nothing. Get all these little jokers up in there, man. Even for those who are yet unborn, your sacrifice shall be, in which you shall consider that it is for the resurrection of others. It is for the resurrection of others and not for yourself that you are chosen of Creator. Good night, boy. You're supposed to be assisting in the resurrection of others. Dang. For in this lies the key of all resurrections. We've been talking about resurrection a lot today, everybody. Which is to labor for others, to induce them to assimilate to the Creator and with one another. See? Yeah. The words of your God are not for the glory of any man under the sun, nor for any angel in heaven, but for Jehovah. You have had sufficient revelation for thousands of years and sacred books with most holy doctrines. And yet many who know these well, Bible, Quran, the Commission literature, come into the spirit world as low as drudges and as wandering spirits. Kindergarten. Man, that's all your cardinals, bishops, clergymen. I'm talking about people that dedicated their lives to all this, y'all. Billions of people. And you mean to tell me they enter the spirit world, not as newborn Essene spirits, as low as those below the grades. They come into the spirit world as low as demons, as low as the YNs. And these supposed to be your scholars and your preachers and your theologians. These suckers come into the spirit world as low as drudges, y'all. So that means they're in kindergarten. Good night. And that's why I can't take a lot of y'all serious no more, man. I be trying to look at some like Israelite elders is teaching. I mean, that shit's so dry, man. Like, hey, look, y'all got to go ahead and step y'all game up, man. Y'all on a sinking ship. I like this last one right here, man. This last verse of this chapter go hard. Look at it. You should judge yourself. Your spirit is like a manuscript, a book in your own handwriting. You are daily writing your grave and the place of your abode in heaven. Daily. Dang. So you are the book. The word of the Lord, Ak. You are the book. That's the mystery. You are the book of the Creator. And your spirit is like a manuscript in your own handwriting. You are daily writing your grave and the place of your abode in heaven. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. You're daily writing your grave. Your spirit is like a manuscript. Your inner man is daily recording your grave. And your abode. Dang, you cross over. Your spirit man is writing it as we speak. Dang. All practical over this way, man. It's all practical. You feel me, player? Dang, son. Dang, son. Man, if y'all got some understanding today, man, y'all drop a 5,000 in the chat for your little brother. It's your little brother Malaki Macabee, man. Yeah, we in the building. CG still cooking. Tell them boys be pitching till they strike out. You know what I mean? And they ain't hitting damn home run. They ain't even got no base hits. Pitching till you strike out, boy. Get them tour course, sippy cup modes. Y'all be in the check out. Glad everybody got some understanding today, man. All praises to the Creator, the maker of suns, moons, and stars. I want to play one more situation. Play one more. Let's go back to Sila Shalom University real quick. Play one of these whatchamacallits. Just I don't know. You feel me? All praises to the Creator, the God maker, the Almighty, maker of suns, moons, and stars.
This is your host, Selah Shalom, and this is the Cosmon Teachings in the Words of Jehovah and His Angel Ambassadors from the Cosmon Bible Owaspy. And the topic of discussion today is called Luamong falsely styles himself Christ and the origin of Christianity. Now, many people believe that Christianity was established by the life of Yeshua, but what Yeshua did was restore the ancient order of Moses among the Israelites that followed him. Not all Israelites believed in Yeshua. Yeshua never practiced a Father, Son, Holy Ghost doctrine. All these were pagan customs. But here I will reveal the truth behind this religion, Christianity, and its founder. People try to say the term Messiah and Christ are the same, but here I will show there's a difference. The word anointed is attributed to the term Messiah. But when we trace the Hebrew root word for Mashiach, it is Mashach, which is a primitive root to rub with oil, or one who is smeared with oil. This is the root word for Messiah, to be smeared with oil. So when we refer to anointed, we are referring to one who is smeared with oil. Now the term Christ, which is incorrectly used to refer to Messiah, is Greek in its origin and not Hebrew. And the term Christ was in use before Yeshua. The term Christ comes from the Chi and the Rho in the Greek alphabet. In Greek, the Chi is the letter X and the Rho is the letter P, which forms together the Chi Rho, which is where Christianity got their cross from. These two Greek letters, the X and the P, which the X also represents a crossbone. Now, some coins of Ptolemy during the 2nd century BC were marked with the Chi and the Rho, showing you proof of his existence before the Messiah. The combined letters Chi and the Rho stands for Kreston, meaning good. So before the Messiah, that term had a significant meaning referring to good, and it also had other meanings as well. And it is from this Chi and Rho that the term Christ stems from, before it became known to mean anointed, which came later. The word Christos is found used from the 5th century BC by Herodias. Now with that, it proves that the term Chi Rho was in use before and during the 1st century. So it is this term Christ that Luamong, the false Trinity God, used for himself, as I will explain later. And 300 years before Constantine established Christianity as a state religion, you had the Piso-Roman family in the 1st century, who was responsible for building the foundation of Christianity and the New Testament, which in return Constantine used to compile his version. So Yeshua never came with the New Testament, but a reestablishment of an old ancient order of Moses, as I described in the story of Yeshua. Now, God's book of Esther, chapter 45, verse 1 through 20, it states, verse 1, the Lord said, now, behold, Luamong stood no longer upon the practice of righteousness, but upon might. Verse 2, neither considered he more the resurrection of mortals or angels. Verse 3, the craft and wisdom of Baal baffled Luamong in both his heavenly battles and his battles for mortals. Verse 4, behold, the whole of the countries of Egypt, Persia, Hellas, and Europe were in war, and the heavens of these countries were also in war, with hundreds of hells within them. And this time is during the 1st century. Verse 5, Luamong fought no longer for the Trinity nor the Holy Ghost, but to save his heavenly kingdom, lest he be captured and cast in hell. Verse 6, and even more desperately was Baal situated against him. Verse 7, in the meantime, the other two truants began to war against each other in their heavenly kingdoms, contending for boundaries and subjects. And they're referring to the false Buddha and Brahma. Verse 8, thought Elias Gabriel sent the following message to Luamong, to wit, greeting to thee, though most high truant, in the name of the Holy Ghost. Verse 9, wherein I am embarrassed, I pray thee, give me lenience. My suit is not without due deliberation, and through prayers to the Holy Ghost. Long have I fought thy battles, and I have gained great power and authority in many kingdoms in heaven and on earth. Now here you have thought Elias Gabriel, who is the chief angel establishing Luamong on earth. Here thought goes through numerous gods that do not heed the Trinity God's doctrine on earth. Verse 10, but behold, I labor against gods who have the advantage of me, the Chinese rebel gods and the Indian rebel gods that fled from the truant kingdoms in the east have taken upon themselves names popular with mortals, Witness these names. And here is a rundown of all the names, these gods that fled the eastern kingdoms and settled over Rome and Europe. These are the names that they took for themselves. Nestor, Elias, Pueth, Neptune, Elias, Poseidon, Oleus, Elias, Pendra, Priam, Elias, Hogath, Phobos, Elias, Wanwakats, Elias, Apollo, Pals, Elias, Shungansita, Pleiades, Elias, Peleus, Saturn, Elias, Kronos, Thalia, Elias, Musa, Festor, Elias, Suko, Elias, Byrith, Elias, Kalkas, Thetis, Elias, Arama, Elias, Ma, Elias, Mara, Elias, Achilia, Elias, Argos, Venus, Elias, Sinaut, Elias, Vishnu, Elias, Mara, Elias, Thought, Elias, Theo, Vulcan, Elias, Anawaha, Elias, Ar, Elias, Egna, Elias, Hephaestion, Kalanisi, Elias, Vrita, Hecla, Elias, Ja, Elias, Tyronia, Elias, Neleus, Nemetris, Elias, Itra, Elias, Promethea, Elias, Eri, Elias, Mithra, Obsendes, Elias, Melitus, Elias, Brahma, Elias, Ishaka, Elias, Davitat, Elias, Sakaya, Elias, Morototha, Ferna, Elias, Holasa, Elias, Io, Elias, Kritit, Elias, Tammuz, Spio, Elias, Pallades, Elias, Hecla, Elias, Vulcan, Thor, Elias, Padua, Elias, Hermes, Elias, Belis, Belus, Elias, Hyroth, Elias, Yosamus, Theo, Elias, Thor, Elias, Neptune, Elias, Orion, Elias, Aph, Elias, Thulas, Curonus, Elias, Vishnu, Elias, Ahambri, Elias, Isna, Elias, Attis, Elias, Etus. Verse 11, thought Elias Gabriel continued, and yet these are not all, for these gods have no fear of the Holy Ghost, and they chose any name that will be flattering to mortals, and the musicians and priests and such others as have power to hear the voices of spirits are led to believe that they hear the very gods whose names are given. The majority of these gods were from the district of Baal, located in Europe. This would be your Greek gods and the pagan customs before Christianity. Verse 12, this then is my misfortune, though most holy God of the true one. I am commanded to give but one name, even the Holy Ghost, or the Father, to mortals. Or whether my angel hosts speak to the oracles or to persons capable of hearing spirits, and say to them, fight ye for the Holy Ghost, or fight ye for the creative elements, mortals heed us not. Or they are irreverently mocking us, saying, what care we for a God that is but a ghost, a shadow, a creative element? Give us gods that talk, and of themselves. We want no angels from the Holy Ghost. Bring your gods, and let the oracles tell us what they say. Verse 13, Luamung then sent messengers and a suitable escort to Jerusalem on the earth, where thought Elias Gabriel was stationed at the time, with an angel host of warriors commanding his presence before his holy council in Hepsendai, Luamung's heavenly city and kingdom. Verse 14, now, after thought Elias Gabriel went hither, and they held a council of many days, a disturbance arose in the council, in consequence of the heat of the debate. Verse 15, for the gods of the council, for the most part, said, what better are we than the Jehovians? What greater power have we than the Jehovians? Who can answer the philosophies of thought, Elias Gabriel? It is a truth. Mortals have never been satisfied with an angel from the gods. They want the God himself. Verse 16. Was not this forever the weakness of the Jehovians? Such angels could give no name that mortals knew, except they falsely assume a name. Hence their weakness compared to such an angel, such unscrupulously assumed to be gods. Verse 17. We all know these things before our holy confederacy was formed. Yeah, one of the chief reasons for forming a confederacy in heaven was that we might more effectively overcome the power of evil spirits over mortals. Verse 18. In that day we said, the three persons, the Son, the Father, and the Holy Ghost, would enable us to appear in person and with authority unto mortals. Verse 19. Verse 19. Behold, it hath now come to pass, mortals desire a more definite God, one known unto them. We cannot truthfully take the name of any God thought alias Gabriel hath named, nor of any other God worshipped by mortals. Verse 20. Luamung then drove hence from the palace his holy council, that he might have an opportunity to reason with himself as to what he should do. So here you can see the Trinity ideas is fading, and the people want the one God, which each of the Trinity gods claim to be. Now they're being confronted with their own folly. Now, chapter 46, verse 1 through 9, it states, Satan enters the holy council of Hepsendai and speaketh unto Luamung the truant. Verse 1. Hear me, O thou most upright of gods. Mine is a tale of pity and of horrors for thy people. Verse 2. Behold, thy one-time brother Truan have had great advantage of thee from the start. Verse 3. They had more populous kingdoms and subjects of higher grades. Verse 4. Nevertheless, wherein they have prospered, thou shalt be wise. Verse 5. They also found it necessary to have a name that mortals could call on to. Verse 6. And they took upon themselves the names Brahma and Buddha, both which signifies knowledge, no more no less. Verse 7. This hath satisfied mortals. Verse 8. Now thou shalt choose the name Christ, which is the Ahamic word for knowledge also. Verse 9. In this, then, thou shalt have truth on thy side in heaven before thy holy council, and on earth thou shalt have a personal embodiment. So here Satan inspires Luamung to style himself the Christ in heaven, and to have a moral representative on earth, which will be Constantine, as shown in time to come. And the earliest sign of the Christ is the Chi and the Rho, the X and the P. Now, chapter 47, verse 1 through 38, it states, Luamung falsely announced himself the Christ. Verse 1, the Lord said, Behold, it came to pass as had been foretold by God. The Truans, the Trinity, will all become false gods, because they have denied the Almighty. Verse 2, God said, There is but one who is all knowledge. Whatsoever angel or God announcing himself to be all knowledge is false in the presence of Jehovah, the Creator. Verse 3, nevertheless, Luamung had it proclaimed in heaven and earth that he was the Christ, which is the Ahamic expression for all knowledge. Verse 4, the Lord said, Now, therefore, Luamung was from this time forth a false god in heaven and on earth. So here Luamung is known as Christ from that time forward in heaven and eventually later on earth. Now here is where Christianity's origin begins on earth. Verse 5, and Luamung commanded Thoth, alias Gabriel, his angel warrior in command of his earthly dominions, to raise up tribes of warriors amongst mortals. Verse 6, and by the inspiration of said Thoth, alias Gabriel, these warriors were induced to call themselves Christians. So here you can see that Christianity was inspired by Luamung, now falsely styled Christ, now established on earth through Thoth, alias Gabriel, his warrior angel, and this has nothing to do with Yahshua's doctrine. According to the King James Bible, the Christians were first called Christians in Antioch, which is in Syria, and Syria was under the governmentship of Rome at that time, and would have been aware of the term Christ, or the Chi and the Rho, the X and the P, being that they were Greeks. Verse 7, God said, that man may know this is true, behold, the followers of Jehovah are not warriors, nor have they ever been. Verse 8, Jehovah said, this mark put I upon man from the time of Cain to this present day, that whoso raises his hand against his brother raises his hand against me also. And this mark shall distinguish my servants to the end of the world. Behold, I alone am all knowledge. So here Jehovah declares his chosen were never warriors. So the idea that the chosen are warriors and shed blood for their God is a false doctrine. The chosen never shedded blood nor bared arms to go into warfare. When those things occurred, the chosen were either captive, slain, or fled. That was the actions of the chosen during those times of warfare. Verse 9, now it came to pass that from this time forth great success attended the wars of Luamung for the glory of his heavenly kingdom. Verse 10, and for the space of 300 years Luamung gradually gained on Baal and his alliance, both on earth and in heaven. And this 300 years is from the 1st century to the 3rd century. And the false Christ gained dominion in the territories of Baal, which is Rome. It is between this time that Christianity is in the making, all being the works of the Roman Empire. The Hebrews had nothing to do with the establishment of Christianity, other than the Hebrew text being used as the Old Testament. But the New Testament is the work of the Roman Piso family and later Constantine and the Nicene Creed, which time period the Roman Piso family was during the 1st century and Constantine was during the 3rd century. Verse 11, and Luamung captured and cast out of his dominion more than 700 false gods and false lords. Verse 12, and he broke up 680 oracle houses and temples used for consulting the spirits who call themselves gods, whose only service was to advise on war, conquest, and destruction. Verse 13, so that even Luamung's falsity to himself, he rendered a great service to Jehovah, against whom he was doing battle. So here Luamung, not knowing, is doing a service by clearing away other false gods, reducing the false god to small numbers. Verse 14, for 300 years more, Luamung with upward of 6,000 million angel warriors pursued war in heaven and on earth. And he had captured mostly all the earthly strongholds of other false gods. But all, however, still maintained himself in Rome and as God of the Roman Empire, but under many names. So here you have Baal being the god of Rome, attributed with different names. And this is the same Baal of ancient Canaan going back to 2000 BC in the 23rd arc cycle, and still ruling in the 3rd century AD of the 24th arc cycle. This is a reign of over 2,000 years that this false god Baal been ruling. Verse 15, God, son of Jehovah, said, now, behold, even Luamung, the false god, bewailed the wars, and he also bewailed his own doctrine. Verse 16, Luamung cried out in his despair, saying, to whom shall I pray, O thou Holy Ghost, though shadow, though nothing, though void? Verse 17, shall I say, O thou all nothing, though inconceivable, though unknowable, though all hidden? Verse 18, or shall I say, O thou nature, though God of nature, though senseless, though scattered? Verse 19, though that hearest not, though that knowest not, though that seest not? Verse 20, though essence, though fountain, that is dumb, though accident, though shapeless? Verse 21, though imperson, though shortness in all, that beguileth us to come hither to find thee, or to go hither to find thee? Verse 22, and find of a truth that we find thee not, yea, to understand that thou art the waste and desolate of all that is. Verse 23, and as for thy father, which we three build up, is he not dead? A divided kingdom with 3 estranged sons, and every one for himself? Verse 24, O thou Brahma, thou hast a peaceful division, O thou Buddha, a place of great profit. Verse 25, but I, your equal, with an unprofitable division, of these western heavens. Mine are warriors in heaven and on earth. Yours, peace and profit. How can I embellish Hepsendai, my heavenly seat, and make it a palace of grandeur like unto yours? Verse 26, behold, my thousands of millions of angels are needed for warriors. How have I time to embellish my throne and my heavenly city? No wonder ye twine pointed the finger of mockery at me for the poverty of my heavenly kingdom. Verse 27, have I not been fighting battles with Satan all these hundreds and hundreds of years? Did I not find heaven, even from the first, a place of war? Verse 28, shall these things continue forever? Who shall I require of? Have I not declared I am one with the Father and one with the Holy Ghost? So now he is being confronted with his own falsehood and doctrine. Verse 29, yeah, then shall I not look to myself, and is this not the sum of all? Everyone for himself? Was not myself a self from the first, and continue a self for itself forever? So here you can see that Luamung is confounded with his own false doctrine. Now here is the doctrine of the false Christ that will be known amongst Christians. Verse 30, henceforth I go not down to send peace on earth. I go not to send peace but a sword. Verse 31, I go to set man at reverence against his brother and father, and mother against her sister and mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. Verse 32, I will make the foes of a man they of his own household. Verse 33, he that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. So here you can see these terms found in the Bible, the King James Bible, are the quotes from this false Trinity God Luamung, now styled Christ, not to be confused with something that Yahshua would say. Verse 34, and he that will not take up swords and proclaim me is not worthy of me. As I read earlier, Jehovah declared that his people are not warriors. Verse 35, my sign shall be a sword, a skull, and a crossbone, and a bull. Again, this is referring to the Chi, the Greek letter X, the crossbone, and the Rho, the Greek letter P, which is also a symbol of a sword pointing through the crossbone forming the Christ. Verse 36, my edict shall be bulls. By these shall my enemies be destroyed. This means that his laws will be enforced. Accept the Christ or perish by the sword. Verse 37, before me shall every knee bow down, and every tongue confess me, Lord of all. And this is the origin of the early Christian doctrine. Verse 38, behold, I will give them a book and a guide whereby they shall know me. In blood will I seal them to the end of the world. And this book, Luamung the false Christ, is referring to is the New Testament. Being that the Old Testament existed already from the time of Ezra, people believing that the New Testament is the work of Yahshua and his disciples is going to be soon discovered that it wasn't, but the work of the Roman Piso family of the first century. And I will touch on that in other vids to come. Now, chapter 48, verse 1 through 10. Here is the wars of the Christians where they were slaughtered in great number. Verse 1, the Lord said, while its Luamung the false god was yet bewailing, behold, thought, Gabriel, his chief warrior god, came upon him, saying, verse 2, Alice, O master, thy followers have no king or queen on earth to protect them. Verse 3, thy mortal Christian warriors who drew the sword to establish thee have been slaughtered in Cardelia, Cyprus, Atina, Thessalonica, Dalmatia, Lasauna, Napla, Seleuci, Macedon, Galatai, and Scythia. Verse 4, in Thebes, 6,000 Christian warriors were massacred by the armies of the Emperor Maximus, inspired by Baal. Verse 5, in Okla, the gods Jupiter and Ira inspired King Hothus to slaughter 3,700 Christian soldiers. Verse 6, in Utica, the god Jupiter, with 7,000 angels, caused 300 of thy soldiers to be burned in a lime kiln, and they were soldiers battling for thee. Verse 7, in Damascus, 2,700 of thy warriors were cut to pieces with the sword, and the only charge against them was their fighting for thee. Yeah, their sacred bull was taken from them and roasted alive, and their bloody cross, which thou giveth them as a sign of thy battle cry, was broken and burned, which is the Chi and the Rho, the X and the P again, the Christ. Verse 8, in critique, 1,800 of thy warriors, who had served thee well in slaughtering pagans, were walled around with fire and roasted alive. Verse 9, on the plains of Agatha, where thy soldiers, 380 of them, were returning with their booty, having done their great service in destroying heathen temples, they were set up by the Gathians, and destroyed, and for no other cause than that they serve thee. These are the early Christian wars, the great massacres, mainly like the 2nd and 3rd century. Verse 10, Luaman cried out, enough, enough, O Thutmose, Elias Gabriel. I too will have a mortal emperor. And with that, I'd like to say peace and blessings and catch you on the next documentary called The Rise of Constantine and the Council of Nicene. Shalom.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2. I'm about to spin on out, family. It's always a pleasure tapping in and chopping it up with the fam. All praise to the creator, the God maker, the maker of suns, moons, and stars. There always was, even and ever shall be. Shout out to the CGG, all my brothers and sisters in the building. Shout out to the 4 Horsemen and the Purple Gang. Shout out. Yeah, and it's good. We're gonna fly pressure. It's an excellent day to get out there and do something good for somebody else. Yeah. So, love, light, and all that stuff in between, and we'll catch back up in a day or two. Big CGG still cooking, pitching till you strike out. Bro.